inside position. The Sharks, did it already early. The Barracuda have got to be as tough and as hard as they can be in front of both nets because the Eagles get to the net very, very well. And last but not least, I love this saying from John McCarthy and his coaching staff: relentlessly patient. Stay with the game plan. Stay with what works. Keep doing it over and over and over again. Don't get frustrated if something doesn't go your way. So play physical, play heavy, inside of the nets, at both nets, and relentlessly patient.
Without a doubt, the Barracuda were relentlessly patient in round number one. They'll try to follow that same blueprint here in this series. We're back in a moment with head coach John McCarthy and another edition of CUDA Coaches Corner. This is Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey on the San Jose Sharks Audio Network.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
It's now time for CUDA Coaches Corner. Here's Barracuda voice Nick Nollenberger with head coach John McCarthy.
Welcome back to CUDA Coaches Corner. Nick Nollenberger joined alongside by head coach John McCarthy, coming off a two-game sweep against the Ontario Reign and a stout defensive effort. You give up just the single goal in the two games. What do you like most about your team's commitment to the defensive side of the game?
Yeah, it all comes down to taking care of the puck for me. I talk about it almost every time we talk, but I think when we all commit to doing it, as a team effort, you see the result, and I think we just got to continue doing that.
Do you see this time of year the guys kind of put maybe their egos aside and they really buy into the team mentality, knowing that the only way to go far in these playoffs is to play as a group that's connected? Do you see guys kind of put the individual success to the side?
I did last weekend, and that was another really encouraging part of the games that we played, I thought. And we got to continue to do it. That's kind of the message this week was, we had two really strong games, I thought. But, we have to follow it up. We can't rest on that.
This time of year, you need to get young guys into these games. It's critical for their development. But do you find yourself and your team, even teammates and fellow players, relying on the veterans, the guys who have been there and done that more so than any other time of the year?
Yeah, and that's why we identified the older guys that we did, and the guys that had experience, guys that play the right way. When you get into high pressure situations, you kind of follow your level of training, and those guys can help us out with that.
It's hard to replace a guy like Andrew Podorowski, the league's MVP, but Colin White has been thrust into your 1C spot on the power play. He's centering your number one line, a guy who's played a lot in the NHL. He's played a lot in the Stanley Cup playoffs as well a couple of years ago, going in that run with Florida. But how much of a benefit has it been to your group to have a guy like that you can thrust into that role? He's maybe not going to put up the same offensive numbers, but he does a lot of the right things.
Yeah, he does, and that's, he came in on an AHL contract this year, got it converted to a two-way, played NHL games, and all the reasons you just brought up are why, playing the right way, supporting pucks inside the dots, solid in his own end. So, we need guys like him they kind of how he goes, we go. So, he's done a nice job setting the tone for us so far in the playoffs.
Having a goaltender like Yaroslav Askarov with his ceiling, how much confidence does that give your group knowing what he's capable of? Yeah,
a lot. And I think that you can kind of tell they play with a little more swagger in front of them. And I really didn't think we gave up a lot last weekend, but, the stuff that we did, he took care of us back there. So I think guys play, don't grip their sticks as tight when he's in there.
This is a very solid Colorado team. They finished atop the Pacific Division. What's it going to take, one, to pick up a win here tonight, but two, get beyond them here in round two?
Yeah, it's gonna take a team effort. They're not entirely unlike Ontario. The difference, I would say, is they got a little bit of an older group, a little bit more speed up front. So you know what? We made our guys aware of how they play, how they want to play, and I think what's the important part here is that we're playing in our building and we got to dictate the terms of the game tonight.
Speaking of your building, this will be your first home game during these playoffs. It's expected to be a full house, a great atmosphere. Exciting to get to come home and play in front of your fans?
Yeah, very. I think hearing it's a sellout. I think they did a great job promoting it, and I think the guys really feed off that energy.
Coach, we appreciate it, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
That was Barracuda head coach John McCarthy. Stand by. Game 1, round 2 between the Barracuda and the Colorado Eagles is coming up next.
Watch all live San Jose Barracuda play-by-play with Nick Nolenberger on AHLTV.com. From highlight reel goals to spectacular saves and bone-crushing hits, the voice of the Barracuda, Nick Nolenberger, is on the mic for it all. Find all regular season and postseason action via AHLTV.com for a small fee. And for up-to-date stats and news, visit theAHL.com. Want to stay up to date on all things San Jose Barracuda and Sharks prospects?
All you have to do is follow us on X,
Facebook,
Instagram, and YouTube.
For exclusive content, breaking news, highlights,
And so much more.
For more information, visit sjbarracuda.com or find us at sjbarracuda.
This is San Jose Barracuda hockey. Game on. The future of the Sharks starts now.
It's round number 2, game 1 of a best-of-5 series between the San Jose Barracuda and the Colorado Eagles. Well, Roy Sommer and Mo Sommer in the building. If that isn't an omen, I don't know what is.
Yep.
The winningest coach in American Hockey League history. Yaroslav Askarov gets the start, 1 goal out in 2 games in round number 1. The Barracuda will start on the back end with Lucas Carlson. He'll be partnered up with the veteran Jimmy Schultz. Down the middle, Zach Ostapchuk centers a line with Patrick Giles and Donovan Houle.
Ty Felleber on the left side, Matthew Phillips on the right, Jason Magna in the middle for Colorado, Jacob McDonald and John Ludwig on the point, and Trent Miner starts in net. I love the fact they're starting the big boys for the Cuda, Nick.
Towers swirling, puck is down, and we are underway here in round number 2. Jimmy Schultz gets the puck in deep. Trent Miner will rim it around the wall, and it drifts all the way through the neutral zone and back into the Barracuda end. Foot race won by Jimmy Schultz, so we get an early whistle. 12 ticks into period number 1 in game 1.
Great atmosphere, as you heard. The crowd is into it. Towels are waving. The big thing for the player, control it. Control it. I know you want to feed off it, and you should, but the difference between emotion and emotional.
I found myself getting jacked up for this game. I was like, hey, come down
Let's
a
go,
little
baby.
bit. It's been a long time since playoff hockey has been here in the Bay Area. Former Shark and Barracuda blue liner Jacob McDonald swings it up the near side. It goes off the stick of Felleber and up and out of play. McDonald set a AHL record at 24-25. He scored 31 goals, the most by a blue liner in the 89-year history of the American Hockey League. He was the Eddie Shore winner as the top defenseman in the league. What a year he put together with the Colorado Eagles.
Jacob, great kid too. He's with the Sharks organization. Good for him. It's good to see former Sharks continue and Cuda to continue to play well.
Puck rolled right in on Trent Miner. He'll cover up. Miner 2 games up top in the NHL this year. First stint in the National Hockey League. First start came against Chicago in January. Put together a very, very solid season with the Colorado Eagles. 22 wins, 10 losses, 6 overtime losses, a 2.12 goals against average. There's a shot towards the net near the stick of Patrick Giles, but drifts just wide. Punch back down the wall. Giles will run the puck down, leans into Ludwig, the veteran defender. Battle on the far half wall. Barracuda in their all black sweaters. Colorado in their road whites. Giles up high for Schultz. Loads up, save made by Miner. Puck caroms near side. It's swung back up the wall, and this will be an icing against Colorado. That's 2 quick icings for Colorado in this first minute.
And good job by the Barracuda to show you how this game's got to be played in the offensive zone. 50-50 puck. Everybody over there working. They win that competition, and then they get it back to the point for a shot on net, and then they went to the front of the net.
We talked about how important a win in game 1 would be. Well, the first goal is quite important as well. In fact, Colorado in an .830 winning percentage this year when they scored first. Wow. 72 games, they scored first 44 times. Barracuda scored first 41 times. They had a .744 winning percentage. So that first goal, if you go back to the regular season, could loom large. Draw to the left side of Trent Miner. Minor drafted by the Avalanche in the 7th round, 202 overall back in 2019. A former teammate of Zach Ostapchuk with the Vancouver Giants in the Western Hockey League. Gushin over the line, didn't play in the first 2 games, will swivel a backhander just wide. Run down far side by the wily veteran Chris Wagner. Wagner with over 60 NHL Stanley Cup playoff games on his resume. Amit will play it along, reeled in by TJ Tynan. Tynan won a Calder Cup back in 2016 with Lake Erie. That was during his rookie season. Canyone's up at him, no penalty on the play. Crowd started to rise to its feet in celebration, but no whistle blown, so play continues at 5-on-5. Work down and deep, and that may just be the president's set there, Drew, in terms of how this game's going to be officiated.
Well, that's another adjustment you have to make going into each and every game in the playoffs.
Cardwell will hoist the puck back into the Colorado zone. Cardwell had that primary assist on the game-winning goal against Ontario on Saturday night at Crypto.com Arena. Askarov will come out to play it, works it along for Jack Thompson. Now swung up the wall by Regenda, and that'll drift all the way down for an icing against the Barracuda. 2 minutes and 4 seconds gone in a scoreless opening period.
It's the other aspect that other teams have to get used to when playing against Yaroslav Askarov, how good he is at getting out to play the puck. That can really help the Cuda, of course, on a breakout to exit the zone quickly. Askarov very good at it, and I think he's calmed himself down from the start of the year to where he is now. Nick.
I think you're exactly right, Drew. Not quite as aggressive.
Yeah.
Kind of picking his spots and when he comes out to play, but what a factor he can be as kind of an additional defenseman breaking the puck out. Cardwell up the near side wall, got to pass Ludwig, but that puck will drift all the way down the surface for an icing. 2 minutes and 17 seconds gone here in the first.
Sorry, Bart, you bring up a good point about, refereeing. How is it going to be called this first game? And there's always an interesting adjustment teams have to make as what was called last round or in the regular season versus what is called in the playoffs.
Face-off draw to the right side of Yaroslav Askarov. Mark Sendin will dig in and take the draw for Colorado. Sendin won a Kelly Cup last year with Florida in the ECHL. Off the draw, McDonald scoops the puck up. 4 and white, works to the net, shoots, right pad stop, Askarov. First shot of the game for Colorado, and it's a good look. Work back into the Eagles zone. Ludwig on it, up the wall. It's played, and it's banked up the glass by Chase Bradley and back into the neutral zone. Sabrin steals, works over the line, loses control. Picked up though far side, Van Roboys. And his pass on the backhand out of the reach of Carlson and drifts back into the Barracuda, third of the ice. 0-0 score, nearing 3 minutes gone in the opening period of Game 1 of this best-of-5 series as the Barracuda have once again iced the puck, and that'll stop play.
And early in the game, you see a lot of checks being finished. We talked about a good start, and a good start doesn't mean you have to score first, but it means you have to get yourself into the game, and both teams are trying to do that.
Face-off draw to the left side of Askarov. Blockbuster deal. The Sharks acquired Askarov back in August. Set a first-rounder and a former first-rounder in the deal, among other players, to acquire a guy they hope is their #1 goalie for the future. Here comes Vincent, busting it, save made by Minor. Anthony Vincent had the opening goal on Saturday in the Barracuda's 2-1 victory. What a chance there. Back the other way, Felleber. Near side, he's got Meg to the veteran. Shoots, getting over to block the shot with Sabrin. Good effort by Sabrin, and the Barracuda will ride the wave back the other way. Vincent will work it into the right corner. He converges on Felleber. Felleber, a breakout season with the Colorado Eagles. Rimmed around the wall. Ethan Frisch will play it back below the goal line. Felleber awaits its arrival. Far side, 48 and white. Gives off for Wyatt Amit. And now near side for Callie Rosen. Worked along for Megna. Jason Megna down the wing. Older brother of former Shark, Jacob Megna. Now Felleber's shot caroms off a shin guard and ricochets back in to the Colorado end. So Devontae Stevens back on it for the Eagles. He'll swing it around the wall. Cut off by Jack Thompson in the neutral zone and punch back in deep. Right to the blade, though, of Jack O'Shawn. Now work for TJ Tynan. 2-time AHL MVP Tynan in his second stint with the Avalanche organization, but taken away by Gushtin. Gushtin's over the line, pestered by Prishapov, coming back to defend, and it's worked up the boards near side by Minor and back into the Barracuda defensive zone. Braden Hache played it along, off target. Precious Pav works it back into the offensive zone. Offside against Colorado. Now will the draw come all the way back down the surface is the question.
Now they just pointed, I think it should be, but it's going to center ice.
Our referees tonight, Grady Hamilton and Casey Terrari. The refs are, linespeople are Ryan Jackson and Kirsten Welsh. So center ice face-off draw. Philip Beestead will dig in and take the draw against Jake Weiss. And off the face-off, it's pulled in by Colorado. And Poland will stuff it up the wall back deep into the Barracuda zone. Lucas Carlson slipped away from a check. Weiss plays it along, but right into the feet of Regenda for the Barracuda. Ethan Cardwell will lift it up the near side boards. Barracuda over the line. Beestead being pestered near side by Ludwig, who works it back to neutral. Barracuda have it again. Regenda will swing the puck down in deep. Regenda did not participate in the playoffs in his first 2 years with San Diego. And in his Calder Cup payoff debut, he scored, and we may have a delay of game penalty here. Ludwig just kicked an airborne puck up and over the glass.
They're discussing it right now. But it definitely was a kick. It is a puck over glass.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before, where a guy kicked an airborne puck soccer style. It went right over the glass. I think maybe he's been playing too much of that sewer game pregame.
Before the game, yeah. Got to get your feet moving. Yeah. So a tough break, really, when you look at it for Ludwig, but McDonald coming over to have a discussion with the referee, but once the call's made, there's very little. I don't think I can ever remember a time where the referee's changed his mind when a conversation happens. Here you go. First big moment of the game. Power play for the CUDA.
Barracuda had the #1 power play in the regular season at 24%. They went 8 for 28 against Colorado at 28.6%. No Podorowski, but they've still got plenty of firepower to be effective on the advantage. Colorado had the 6th ranked penalty kill during the regular season. Barracuda control. Philip Beestead skates it near side wall, gives it off for Daniil Gushtin. Led the AHL with 14 power play goals during the regular season. Gushtin shoots, and he tried to pick the upper short side corner, and a good reactionary stop by goaltender Miner as it caroms out of play.
First thing on the face-off, it goes back into behind the Eagles net, or near the net, I should say. Regenda got a good jump off the face-off. That's why the CUDA were able to get control. Good chance, good shot, but a really nice save by Trent Miner.
Barracuda went 2 for 9 on the power play. 1 for 9 on the power play in round 1. Cagnoni's shot blocked. Bounces around in the high slot. Beestead will run it down and swivel the puck around the wall near side. Gushtin takes a peek. He knows the contact's coming. Gets it down low for Regenda. Trying to slip away from Ahmet. Beestead with it in the trapezoid, up top to the point for Cagnoni. Cagnoni, top of the circle, Gushtin surveying the ice, feathers it back down low for Beestead. Beestead pulls up on the near side hash mark, returns it back for Gushtin, down low for Beestead, opens up, centers it through the blue paint, but it drifted just wide. Intended for Regenda, but his stick was tied up, and now Tynan clears it out of his own defensive zone.
Good idea by Philip Beestead, but as you said, a really good job by the D in front of Trent Miner to get Regenda stick up in the air.
Barracuda will break out of their own zone. Cagnoni gives off for Lucas Carlson. He'll wire the puck in deep. Colin White takes a check along the wall by Ashawn. He got stapled along the corner boards, and then Ashawn crumbles over him. He's on top of him in the corner boards. Those two still wrestling. Far side, one-timer, point-blank stop there by Miner. A thing of beauty on Ethan Cardwell. It keeps it scoreless.
And the rebound right there for Zach Ostapchuk, but he couldn't get his stick on it.
Trent Miner coming over laterally with a beautiful stop to keep this game 0-0 here in period number 1. 15 seconds remaining on the Barracuda power play. Ludwig sits for delay of game. Carlson curl and drag shoots. That got blocked wide. Reaching out for it was Cardwell. Here come the Eagles in transition. Second in the league in shorties during the regular season. Felleber coming down the flank, and Askarov got a piece of it, and it's up and out of play.
Well, a terrific opportunity for the Barracuda. And as that play was tied up in the corner, it allows more open ice. It all of a sudden goes from a 5-on-4 to a 4-on-3. And the one time by Ethan Cartwell, Zacho Stopchuk right in front of the net. The rebound bounces over his stick. And then the Eagles, who are a very aggressive penalty-killing team, they attack with a 2-on-1. Good save by Yaroslav Askarov.
Colorado had 15 shorties during the regular season. Only Charlotte had more, and Felleber had 3 of those 15. But a good stop by Askarov. Both goaltenders coming up with some solid early saves. On his feet is Ludwig. Power play down to just 1 second remaining on it for the Barracuda. Face-off draw to the right side of Askarov. Game 2 set for Sunday here at TechCU Arena. There's an angle bid by Matt Phillips. And it's sealed off by Askarov, and now Van Roboy's getting nose-to-nose with Felleber.
Well, that's what Lucas Van Roboys does, and he will get in the face of everybody, and Felleber coming right back at him right now. So it's starting, Nick.
No goals. It has not lacked entertainment. The pace has been high tempo. It's been physical, and it certainly feels like playoff hockey. 13 minutes to go in the opening period. Game 1 of this best-of-5 second-round series between the Barracuda and the Colorado Eagles. We're back in a moment. This is Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey on the San Jose Sharks Audio Network.
Well, San Jose Barracuda are gearing up for an electrifying 2025-26 season, and there's only one way to get closer to the action.
He'll control, wrist one through, they score!
By becoming a Battery member. Joining the Battery means savings, exclusive access, and experiences all in one place. Don't wait. Season tickets are on sale now. Ride the wave today by visiting sjbarracuda.com or by calling 408-999-5757.
Hey, this is Barracuda forward Andrew Podorowski.
He scores! He scores!
You're listening to Barracuda Hockey.
Well, welcome back inside TechCU Arena. 7 minutes through the first period. Nothing score. Been a physical start through to this one. No surprise, and a great atmosphere here at TechCU Arena.
It is fantastic. As you said in the break, there's nothing like playoff hockey. It's got all the vibe, all the emotion, all the hustle, all the finish that you want. That's why we love the game as much as we do. Great stuff.
When the Barracuda originally moved out to California back in 2015, the dream was to one day have a building that they could call their own. Of course, they shared SAP Center many seasons with the San Jose Sharks, but when John Gustafson and the rest of the front office thought about this vision, they dreamed of a night like this, where the Barracuda had their own home in San Jose, a full building. And this is just awesome stuff for the first ever playoff game here at TechCU Arena.
As the saying goes, I love it when a plan comes together.
Face-off draw to the right side of Askarov. One up high to the point of Ludwig. Nothing score. Olofsson will let it go. Vincent awaits its arrival far side wall. Shovels it up the boards. Picked up by McDonald of Colorado. Banked up the near side boards. Sendin sends Frisch flying and is worked out and deep by Colorado. Sabourin and Cagnoni nearly ran into one another on the far side. Sabourin picks it up, twists the puck along. It's behind Vincent. And this will go all the way down for an icing. 12:32 left in the first.
Scott Sabourin is all over the ice right now. Coming back deep into the zone, as you said, almost runs into Cagnoni, gets behind the net, picks up the puck, tries an interesting pass up through the middle. Sometimes with Scott, it's feast or famine. He's, oh my goodness. But you love his energy, you love his physical play.
Without a doubt, you can tell he's jacked up.
Oh yeah.
Face-off draw to the left side of goaltender Askarov. Cagnoni will kiss it off the glass, get it back to center. Devontae Stevens, who's been in the playoffs the last 3 straight years with a Pacific Division team, is in year number 1 with the Colorado Eagles. He controls, puts it up the right wing side. Wagner couldn't reel the puck in, and it's lifted back up the boards, but lands into the Barracuda bench, and that'll stop play. With 12:13 left in a scoreless first period.
And there's Anthony Vincent. Just there. Just beside a couple of Colorado Eagles players. That's how he knows how he has to play to be effective. And he does it each and every game, and it's not easy playing like that. Puts his body through a lot.
Face-off draw to the left side of goaltender Yaroslav Askarov. Now this time of year, Anthony Vince is living in the cold tub.
Yes.
Stomchuk will step in and take the draw. One swiftly back to the point by Tynan. Bump back right flank for Stevens. Work down below the goal line on the backhand. Tynan has it. Centers in front, no one home. Picked up by Giles of the Cuda, and he'll stuff it back up the wall.
Excellent job by Lucas Carlson in front of his own net, making sure he took care of business.
We've talked about it a lot, Drew, but it's just incredible to watch this Barracuda team and just see how much bigger they are than they were 3 months ago. Krishapov coming down the wing, twisted through the low slot, got all the way to the corner. Donovan Houle trying to get to it, pulled in by Jimmy Schultz, the captain. He lifts it off the glass and gets it back into the Colorado zone. Schultz playing game number 62 of his Calder Cup playoff career, part of some long runs the last 2 years with Coachella Valley, making it all the way to the Calder Cup finals. Worked right wing side for Weiss. Now Jack Thompson up the wall. Pulled in by Poland of Colorado. His shot sticked aside by Jack Thompson.
The big adjustment right now, Nick, for the Barracuda is how much faster of a team the Colorado Eagles are than the Ontario Reign. The adjustment you have to make.
One of the things that John McCarthy mentioned in our pregame conversation, similar in terms of their strategy to Ontario, but a little bit more speed to their overall game.
Absolutely. You can see it.
Now Cagnoni working his way through the neutral zone. Still with the puck on his stick, and he hoisted it just over the frame.
Pretty impressive.
We've seen Cagnoni go end-to-end on multiple occasions this year. So slippery when he decides to hold on to that puck. And now
That's icing.
a tie-up at the offensive blue line causes an icing.
Colin White trying to work past John Ludwig, and he gave the referee or the linesman a look saying, no, you interfered with me. That shouldn't be an icing, but that one was a rocket going down the ice. I did like that play by Cagnoni. I think take what the opposition gives, attack. Try to push them back.
Face-off draw will be to the left side of goaltender Askarov. Shots are 4-2 in favor of the Barracuda. Nothing scored. 10:23 left here in the first period. Off the draw, shot by Felleber, bounces into the near corner. Matt Phillips, the former Stockton Heat Calgary Wrangler forward, won a Calder Cup last year with Hershey, although he didn't play in the finals. Played about half the playoff games with Hershey. Sean now right wing side for Stevens from well out. Askarov the save, and he's able to seal it with the Pellos and hold on for the whistle.
Colin White in front of the net. He's picking up Matthew Phillips. As we said, one of the big keys in this game is front of the nets. You have to make sure you control yours, especially box out early. The last couple of times the Eagles have had the puck in the Barracuda zone, they've done a very good job on getting to the front of the net, but the Cuda are there in numbers as well.
10:01 left here in this first period. Off the face-off draw, Beestead wins the draw. Regenda had it just bounce off his blade. Stevens works it back up the boards. Pulled in by Regenda, laid along into the feet of Stevens. Near side for Bradley, and no place at left corner. Carlson leaned on by Sendin as those two converge on the end wall. Now Bradley pivots the puck back far side. Ahmet will run it down, takes a bump, works into the point for Sendin. Sendin shot from well out, bounces into the corner. Cardwell will swing it into the trapezoid for Schultz. Now far side for Carlson, pulls up on the pressuring Sendin and swings it to the near wing. Cardwell trying to stuff it up the wall. That was sealed off by a shot, and then Cardwell crumbles on top of him. Those two coming together, and now a penalty is going to be called as that altercation continued between Ashawn and Cardwell. Ashawn trying to skate away and elude a penalty. I would imagine both guys are going to the box here.
It looked like the referee motioned to both teams.
So 9:16 left here in the first period. 0-0. Score will sort it all out when we come back. This is Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey on the San Jose Sharks Audio Network.
Download the exclusive podcast of the San Jose Barracuda, Cuda Confidential, wherever you get your podcasts, or go to sjbarracuda.com/confidential. Twice a month, the voice of the Barracuda is joined by a player, coach, or front office member to talk about their way to San Jose and so much more. Make sure to catch Barracuda Bonus, the official post-game wrap of the Barracuda. Cuda Confidential provides unprecedented access and is your one-stop shop for all Barracuda audio content.
The Hilton San Jose is the preferred hotel of the San Jose Sharks and SAP Center in San Jose. Experience something new. Close to home or from across the world, the Hilton San Jose is there for you with memorable offers and experiences. Enjoy the brand new guest rooms with luxurious Waldorf Astoria beds and upgraded amenities. We're committed to creating a safe and relaxing experience, including delivering an even cleaner stay from check-in to check-out. Visit sanjose.hilton.com now to make your reservation. We are Hilton. We are hospitality.
0-0 score here at Tech CU Arena. Well, a lot of the Sharks prospects are on the ice tonight, but we'll find out where they're going to pick in the upcoming NHL draft because the NHL announced the lottery is this upcoming Monday. So the Sharks obviously have the highest odds to pick #1 overall again. Maybe not as clear consensus as last year with Macklin Celebrini, but
Matthew Schaefer is the one that's leading the news anyway, as he's, I think, one of the top-ranked guys. And I know that Mike Greer met with him in Toronto when the Sharks were playing the Maple Leafs during the regular season, because that's what good general managers do. They go get to know some of the young players out there that might be on their team.
Face-off draw to the left side of goaltender Yaroslav Askarov. I think Mike Greer was at the U18s last weekend as well. And that's why we didn't see him down in Los Angeles. So he is certainly prepping for what's another very important upcoming NHL draft for the Sharks. Colin White up and over the line. Former #1 draft choice in his own right by Ottawa. Up high for Cagnoni. Crisscrosses with Frisch. We're playing 4-on-4 as minors were called against Cardwell and Ashawn after that altercation. And the puck's going to bounce off of the stick of the Eagles in Karam right corner, and Colorado will tag up. Daniel Kushtin works his way through center, skates back into his own end to regroup. 8:36 left in the scoreless first period. Barracuda did not give up a goal or score a goal in the first period in either game down in LA. Ludwig with it. Swung near side for McDonald. McDonald will skate down the flank, trying to shimmy shake his way away from the defending Lucas Carlson. Now Philip Beested pulls it in, far side, swings it behind his net for fellow Swede Carlson. He'll pull up and find Colin Graff behind the net. Back to Carlson, return to Graff. He'll skate into the puck with momentum through neutral. He's up and over the line, rolling puck, given left side. Quick shot from Beested, stick stop Minor, and up and out of play goes with 7:58 left here in the first period.
Good puck control and poise in the Barracuda zone. Graff supports the puck perfectly. They bring the puck up with some speed and a nice rush up the ice. A 2-on-2 turns into a good scoring chance. But once again, Trent Minor, I think he got a piece of that, Nick, just with his glove or his stick.
So the face-off draw to the right side of Minor. Probably his best stop coming on Cardwell on the lone power play of this period. But that another good save, as you mentioned, Drew. I think it got about halfway up his goal stick. Shots to this point, 5-3 in favor of the Barracuda. Regenda right wing side for Frisch. He's over the line. Back for Regenda. Works in. Handed off left side. He tried to spot Giles. He was tied up, and Minor puts the trapper on top of it for the whistle.
Another good rush up the ice. Unfortunately, it doesn't result really on a scoring chance. But Pavel Regenda brings the puck up, dishes it off, and then he tramps right towards the middle of the ice. I like Patrick Giles skating off the ice, but the Eagles do an excellent job of making sure they pick the stick up. Who's that coming back on that? That was Jake Wise. Jake Wise, the forward coming back, gets the stick up defensively.
Barracuda wing control. Frisch will lay left corner. Sophomore forward out of North Dakota. Pulled in by Rosen. Rosen won a Calder Cup with Toronto back in 2018. Now Tynan will scamper up the left wing side. Tynan takes a peek, backhands one, intended for the low slot. Good defensive play by Frisch, and then he hammered Tynan into the corner boards. And Tynan, I don't think that felt too good. He calls for a change immediately. Now Regenda will spear it in on goaltender Minor. It goes off of his catching mitt and out of play. 7:06 left here in the first. And Felleber comes high and hard on Regenda after the whistle.
I didn't see what prompted that, but Regenda in the letting Felleber know it wasn't appreciated. I didn't see why Felleber went after him, but we have seen this start to progress now, right? Both teams being physical, both teams finishing checks, and now there's a little bit more after the whistle, although both coaches, I'm sure, I know John McCarthy is, but making sure is, hey, guys, right up to the line, and that's it, whistle to whistle.
I was really impressed by Felleber earlier. He was extremely composed on Van Roboys. I was like, well, that's very out of character. And now the wires cross. He goes right after again. Back to his fine form. There's a shot from well out. That had eyes. Ends up in on goaltender Minor, and he finds it between the pads and gets a whistle.
Win the draw, get to the net. So Zach Ostapchuk, a guy that the Barracuda are looking at, Sharks management looking at. Smart. It's real simple. Win the draw, get to the net. Use that big body, which he told you before the game.
Ostapchuk, as you mentioned, Drew, he won that draw. He just beeline to the blue paint. Has that big 6'3" frame.
One thing, when you get to the net, though, I've noticed with the Colorado Eagles, what they do, they're very good at getting underneath the opposition stick and getting it up in the air. We've seen it now 3 times. You got to be heavy on your stick once you get to the net.
Face-off draw to the left side of Minor. Barracuda have been good on the dots from the naked eye here in the first. There's a shot, Cardwell blocked in between the circles. Colorado outstanding at getting in front of shots, but boxing out is really their MO. This has been a stout defensive group for several years now. Now Magna blocks a shot on Cardwell, and here comes Matt Phillips down the left wing side. Phillips spots a man, Stevens, the defenseman charging in, and Askarov makes a glove stop.
Zach Ostapchuk throws his head back, goes and gives Yaroslav Askarov a tap because he was coming back. He's in good position, but he's watching the puck, doesn't get his head on a swivel, doesn't see his man getting in on the attack, and boy, what a big save that is early as Devontae Stevens jumps into the play. Zach was mad at himself, but he was happy with his goalie.
Face-off draw on the left side of Askarov. That was a cleanup on aisle 8, and Askarov mopped it up quickly. Olausen gives off for Sendin, bouncing puck stuffed wide of the cage. Reaching out for it is Olausen. Now Sendin up high to the point. McDonald, wrister from well out in the low slot, hacking and whacking away at it is Bradley. Save made by Askarov, and lots of contact, pushing and shoving, and now who is that? Vincent trying to get after Jacob McDonald?
Well, McDonald gave him a trip in front of the net. Not a very gentlemanly one as well. And so Anthony Vincent got up and was going after Jacob McDonald. And John Ludwig stepped in for his partner on defense. The referee was right there, though. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes from this or what was happening in front of the net.
Vincent incensed.
No call from the referee on either Ludwig or Anthony Vincent.
Vincent and McDonald were teammates for a very brief time last year. McDonald played 6 games with the Barracuda.
Just in front of the net, and after the whistle, and Jake McDonald gives Anthony Vincent a trip in front, and Anthony did not like it very much at all.
Face off to the right side of Askarov. Shots are 7-5 in favor of the Barracuda. 0-0 score here in period number 1, game 1 of this best of 5 round 2 series. And Row Boys will work it up the wall. Now Vincent has it. He's over the line, top of the right circle. Shot blocked. And Vincent upended by Wyatt Ahmed as those two for jousting. Fired from Will out Sabrin, punched out Minor, and out of play it goes.
Here we go again. Anthony Vincent gets things going. He gets emotions going on both teams.
5:53 left here in the opening period. Nothing score. It's game one of this best-of-5 round 2 series between the Barracuda and the Colorado Eagles. Back in a moment. This is Calder Cup playoff hockey on the San Jose Sharks Audio Network.
San Jose Barracuda are gearing up for an electrifying 2025-26 season. And there's only one way to get closer to the action.
No control, wrist one,
by becoming a Battery member. Joining the Battery means savings, exclusive access, and experiences all in one place. Don't wait. Season tickets are on sale now. Ride the wave today by visiting sjbarracuda.com or by calling 408-999-5757.
Get the best seats to Broadway San Jose's 2025-26 season now when you become a season subscriber. See in Juliet, Some Like It Hot, A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, The Wiz, Back to the Future, and a new production of The Sound of Music. Gain immediate access to returning blockbusters including The Book of Mormon, Beetlejuice, and more. The 6-show package starts at just $50 per ticket and includes all fees. Sign up now at BroadwaySanJose.com.
Back to play-by-play action with Nick Nolenberger.
5:53 left here in the first period. Nick Nolenberger alongside Drew Mendez starting to percolate, Drew, the animosity between these two teams who faced off 8 times during the regular season. We're getting lots of post-whistle activities going on here in this first period.
More and more. One of the keys for John McCarthy's team was to make sure you were physical, but don't cross the line. And we're getting our tiptoes right on the line right now.
Face-off draw to the right side of Trent Minor. He's been sharp to this point. He's turned aside all 8 shots that he's faced. Worked back up the wall by Weiss, pulled in by Jimmy Schultz of the Barracuda. Left side, Lucas Carlson. Carlson head up, hits the red line, and drives the puck in deep. Taking a peek behind him was Ahmet. That's a rear pressure. Bouncing puck centered in front there by Colin White. Closest recipient was Graff, but he couldn't get a shot off. Now Rosen gives off for Ahmet, and the puck is lifted back into the Barracuda zone. It'll roll down towards Ascroft. He'll cover up for a whistle. 5:20 left in a scoreless first period.
One thing I liked from the Barracuda in this first period, the first almost 15 minutes, is their support in the defensive zone. They're doing a very good job supporting the puck. Close, quick support. They're moving, coming back to pucks, creating a lot of space, and not only that, some speed coming out of their zone.
Colin White will dig in and take the face-off draw. White in year number 1 with the Sharks organization. He originally signed an AHL contract. Sharks then signed him to a 2-way NHL deal. He played in 3 games up top. He's been a very nice, steadying veteran presence in the locker room all year long. Left side, Gushtin. He is table-topped by Devontae Stevens. Work back up the right side wall for Wagner. Near side for Tynan, and the puck driven down in deep. Krishapov now for Colorado, fanned on the shovel attempt. Now Tynan near side, up high to the point of Sean, loads up, that's blocked by Graff, laboring. Puck stays in the zone. Graff thought about making a change. For the time being, he'll stay put. Krishapov down low, he'll play it for Wagner. Swings it back far side, Gushtin will take a peek, shovel it up the wall. Held in though, McDonald now top of the circle. He loads up a shot. Beasted got his stick in the way, and out of play goes.
Things got a little scrambly because Colin Graff, he took that puck and he is still hurting. Boy, you get it on the foot, you get it on the skate where there's no protection. It's going to sting for a while. Usually the player will be able to skate it off, walk it off. But they're a little slow in getting the puck. So Sean actually makes a really good play on that. He shoots the puck, it goes off of Colin, it's going up in the air, but he knocks it down with his hands and keeps the pressure on in the offensive zone for the Eagles.
4:32 left here in the opening period. Nothing score. Shots are 8-5 in favor of the Barracuda. They had the only power play to this point of the first period. Both goaltenders have been sharp. Phillips seals the near side wall, pulled in by Bstead of the Cuda, left wing side for Cagnoni. Cagnoni took a high, hard hit in the victory on Saturday, missed some time, came back into the game, but he's wearing the full face coverage here in game one of this best-of-5 series. Fresh to the net, that's blocked to McDonald, stuffed back right wing side, Felleber works over the red line, gains the line right wing side, Felleber holding, rolls it towards the net, blocked, pulled in now by Phillips, good stick there by Fresh as he stripped him, and now Cardwell on the far left side will lift the puck back to the red line.
Excellent defensive play.
Now Matt Phillips like a jitterbug, leaves for Magda, high slot, shot, score! Kelly Rosen, the trailing defenseman, beats Yaroslav Askarov between the circles and opens up the scoring with 3:44 left here in period number 1.
Not a great change by the Barracuda. That's what allowed all that open space as the Colorado Eagles enters the zone. And the Cuda were slow on the change and they were slow coming on the ice. Slow off, slow on. Always equals bad news. And it's just too much open space as Kelly Rosen rolls in and fires it past Askarov.
Rosen had 10 goals during the regular season. He's got his first to the playoffs and the first goal of this best-of-5 series. So Colorado has landed the first punch. Can the Barracuda counter with 3:28 left here in the opening period? Bradley finishes his check on Giles. Puck below the Colorado goal line. Reverse near side. Giles with that big frame trying to get inside positioning. Slips away from Bradley. Carries the puck down low. Gets it for the defenseman Haché. That's blocked. There was a sea of humanity in front, and the puck could not siphon through. Now Jack Thompson back in his own zone. Gives off for Braden Haché. Won a Memorial Cup last year with Saginaw. Giles will tip the puck down in deep. 2:55 left here in period number 1. Eagles 1 and the Barracuda nothing on the goal by Kelly Rosen. Over the line, here comes Weiss of Colorado. Left for Poland, given back for Jake Weiss, tied up by Jimmy Schultz and lifted back out of the zone.
How good was that by Jimmy Schultz? Really, just good, smart defense.
2:32 left here in this first period as the puck ends up going off of a body and out of play.
Again, Van Roboys and Vincent. Scott Sabrin get out, more pushing and shoving and words exchanged after the whistle.
Time of that goal for Kelly Rosen at 6:16 from Jason Magna and Matt Phillips. Barracuda never trailed in the 2 games against Ontario. Didn't give up a first period goal in either game, but they find themselves behind here in the late stages of the opening 20. Ivan will lift the puck down and deep for Colorado. Rimmed up the near side wall. Ludwig trying to get inside positioning. Stuffed free by Colin White. Now Luca Cagnoni. Cagnoni will fire the puck up the surface. It goes off the stick of McDonald. Airborne and snared by goaltender Miner for a whistle. So an offensive zone draw coming up for the Barracuda.
Well, you see Colin Kraft was the guy skating off the puck and doing a very good job of it. Didn't look like that shot that he took off the foot hampered him at all. So good to see that.
So Colin White will dig in and take the draw. 2:06 left here in the first. Colorado 1, Barracuda nothing. Colorado scoring with 3:44 left here in this first period. Nikita Prishapov will dig in. Rookie forward, drafted by Colorado back in, last year, 2024, the 7th round, 217th overall. And now TJ Tynan's going to step in and take it. And off the draw, Gushin, left side, he's got Haché, shoots along the ice, but wide. Now Thompson back down the half wall for Gushin, scampers to the point, and then played it right to the stick of an Eagle. And now Prishapov tips it deep into the Barracuda zone. 1:48 left here in the first period. 1-0 lead for Colorado. Haché, he is stapled along the boards by the hard-working forward that is Chris Wagner.
Yeah.
Here come the Barracuda back in transition. Colin Graff trying to dance through Rosen, sprung it along out of the reach of Gushtin, and it shoveled back to the neutral zone. Stopchuk will play it for Jimmy Schultz for Lucas Carlson, and Carlson will bring it up ice from left to right. Right wing side for Donovan Houle. Houle on target, looking for a pillow pass. Now left side, Jimmy Schultz hammers one on target, and Miner gobbles it up for the whistle.
Okay, the simplicity of putting pucks on the net. It's a long shot for Donovan Houle. As you said, a pillow pass off the pads. It goes out, and Jimmy Schultz jumping into the play. That's the type of hockey you need to play. And even though they're down 1-0, and it's been a strong first period for both teams, the relentlessly patient aspect of the game of the Cuda should stay intact. Keep doing what you're doing.
Face off to the right side of goaltender Trent Miner, off the draw, pulled in by the Cuda. Giles on net, blocker save. Puck is loose in between the circles. Somehow it got past everybody.
How?
Held in by Carlson. A knuckle puck is fired wide. Where is it? It bounces far left corner. Just so much traffic in front. The Barracuda having some trouble getting those shots through. Under a minute to go now in this opening period. Donovan Houle with the puck. Houle, who took a puck to the side ahead in the victory on Saturday. Good to see him in the lineup here for game number 1. That was ugly.
Yes, it was. It was worrisome, but Donovan's a tough kid, man.
Colorado will break out of its own zone. Sendin will swing it cross corner. Askarov comes out to play it in the trapezoid for Jimmy Schultz. Along for Regenda, directed to the red line. Cut off by Regenda, slapped along, but right to Sendin. Played it for Ludwig, a little bit strong. He takes a body check from Frisch, and now Jimmy Schultz will skate the puck up ice and lift it along. Gave it away, though, to McDonald in the neutral zone, and he'll flex it right back in deep. 8 seconds to go in this first period. Eagles up 1-0. Regenda down low for Frisch. And Ethan Frisch takes a peek at the big board. And takes one final hit by Chris Wagner for good measure, and that'll draw a crowd.
You knew that was coming.
There was still a couple of ticks left, so don't blame Wagner for finishing his check. Frisch was just trying to melt down that final little bit of the period. Chris Wagner, he is a heat-seeking missile. He will hit everything with a pulse.
Yeah.
Saw that multiple times in that burst, and I think Philip Easton trying to argue his case for a penalty at the end of the period. A physical first, Drew. Colorado breaks the ice, though, late in the period. Callie Rosen gets things started. Eagles up 1-0 after 1.
A solid period. Solid period for the Barracuda. They played with some quickness. They had 12 shots to the Eagles' 6. Miner made a couple of big saves, especially on the power play. They were physical. They played smart. And that's, again, relentlessly patient. Nothing needs to change except trying to find the way to get the puck past Miner.
Barracuda had not trailed in these playoffs before that goal scored by Rosen, but they were right within striking distance. And as Drew mentioned, they doubled up the Eagles in shots the first 12-6. Solid period, but one maybe little lapse was the difference as Rosen found some soft ice in between the circles and beat goaltender Yaroslav Askarov. Through a period live here from TechCU Arena, it's the Eagles 1 and the Barracuda 0. The Hall of Famer Dan Rusanowski joins us in the booth next. This is Calder Cup Playoff Hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
Shot score! Listen to live San Jose Barracuda play-by-play with Nick Nolenberger. From highlight reel goals to spectacular saves and bone-crushing hits, the voice of the Barracuda, Nick Nolenberger, is on the mic for it all.
With the opportunity for the hat trick, he scores!
Find all preseason, regular season, and postseason action via the Sharks Plus SAP Center app and at sjbarracuda.com. The future of the Sharks lives here.
Download the exclusive podcast of the San Jose Barracuda, Cuda Confidential, wherever you get your podcasts, or go to sjbarracuda.com/confidential. Twice a month, the voice of the Barracuda is joined by a player, coach, or front office member to talk about their way to San Jose and so much more. Make sure to catch Barracuda Bonus, the official post-game wrap of the Barracuda. Cuda Confidential provides unprecedented access and is your one-stop shop for all Barracuda audio content.
You you have a new home for country music in the Bay Area.
Bay Country 94.5 and 92.1 in the East Bay.
I'ma need some whiskey glasses. Drinking beer almost as cold as ice don't fall in the boat.
And Bobby Bones in the morning.
Hello to the Bay Area. I'm Bobby Bones. Make sure you wake up with us on Bay Country.
This is your invite to join us right now. The Bay Area is making a move to the all-new Bay Country 94.5 and 92.1 in the East Bay. Listen online from anywhere.
kbaycountry.com.
It's now time for the first period scoring summary. Here's Nick Nolenberger.
Welcome back inside Tech CU Arena. 1-0 lead for the Colorado Eagles after a period. Callie Rosen opens up the scoring at 16-16 to get things started. Barracuda did outshoot the Eagles in the first period, 12-6. They drew the only penalty, but they find themselves behind for the first time in these playoffs. We are very pleased to be joined by the Hall of Fame radio play-by-play announcer for the San Jose Sharks, the great Dan Rusanowski. Ruzy, how's the summer treating you? I know you're still working, and for folks who don't know, you're covering the Stanley Cup playoffs with a great show that you're doing, every other day or so?
A couple times a week, yeah.
So make sure to check that out. It's a great recapping kind of update on what's going on in the playoffs, but how are things going?
Everything's great. I mean, that show particularly, the Stanley Cup playoff reports on the Sharks Audio Network, and you can hear Drew Amenda wax eloquently about his opinions about the refereeing, so that's always fascinating. But actually, this is really interesting, Nick, because this is my first Calder Cup playoff game that's a home game since 1989. And that was the Calder Cup final. The New Haven Nighthawks against the Adirondack Red Wings at the time. And my last 2 seasons in the AHL before the Sharks were formed, they didn't make the playoffs, so that was a bummer. And of course, we've seen that with San Jose recently. But how exciting is it for this building to be packed, making a lot of noise, and really good hockey in the first period for the most part?
I wanted to ask you about that. We'll talk about the game and just how important these playoffs are for the Sharks organization. But you spent 5 years in the American Hockey League with the New Haven Nighthawks. How do you look back on that time in your development as a broadcaster?
With a great deal of pride, because those years really made it possible for me to get to the National Hockey League. I've been doing college hockey, and as you know, when you're at that level, there are certain things that you can and can't do, that you do and don't experience. But in the American Hockey League, you experience everything. And I think I learned a lot about the game as a business as much as I did about the art and the science of calling a game. And I see you've got a lot more technological equipment than I used to have. In fact, I remember one time we didn't even have what they had, phone couplers that we used to actually send our signal back to the radio station. And one time the phone coupler didn't work, so I had to take up a bunch of U-plugs, unscrew the top of the phone, and actually stick some wires in there to make it work. And all I did was keep the levels low. That was it.
It's funny what you learn from a technical standpoint when you're doing this at the lower levels, because you're kind of a one-man band. And I didn't even realize I have half the abilities when it comes to technological savviness, but you just learn along the way, don't you?
Well, you do. And, you know, by the way, don't say the lower levels, because this is the second best hockey league in the world. And the Calder Cup is one of the most important trophies to earn in the world. The fact that the Sharks organization, through the Barracuda, has a guy who's already won the league's leading scorer and the most valuable player. The next step is going to be who's going to win the Jack Butterfield Trophy as the MVP of the Calder Cup playoffs. And these are 1 steps that turn into 10 steps for the organization, but also for the Barracuda. So you got to take pride in absolutely every minute if you're a fan, if you're a listener, or if you're involved in the sport as you and I are.
Just looking on the ice, there's multiple players that split time between the AHL and the NHL this year. Yaroslav Askarov, Luka Cagnoni, Colin Graff. You mentioned Andrew Podorowski. He had a short stint in the NHL as well. How important in your mind, as you've seen this product of the AHL, and in particular with the Barracuda, at this point in the Sharks rebuild, how important is it for these guys to get this experience in the postseason?
It is absolutely critical, in my opinion. I think that the one thing that you always have to look to are the organizations that consistently challenge in the NHL. And I always remember this, going back a few years, when the Sharks were very, very solid at the NHL level, challenging for a Stanley Cup. But the depth cupboard was not quite as full. And at the time, the Worcester Sharks or the Cleveland Barons or the Kentucky Thoroughblades weren't really going that far in the Calder Cup playoffs. And I remember one time The Sharks won the President's Trophy as the best team in the league. They played Anaheim in the first round. And I always remember this. Andrew Ebbett, never forget the name, scored a huge goal for them. He was a role player on the Ducks, but he had a lot more Calder Cup playoff experience. And so the first thing is you're looking around, and you know, if you're Lucas Carlson, you played a little bit in the NHL, you're a veteran here. Jimmy Schultz now, a guy who's had a lot of Calder Cup playoff experience. But you're going up against guys that you're going to play against your entire pro career. And so when you face them in the Stanley Cup playoffs, you're not as intimidated. It's not as big a deal for you. You know what it's like to play against men in a best-of-7 series, which I know the Cuda are going to get to this year. So I think that it's absolutely critical for the development of the organization, for the players also to get that sense of confidence that they can do it. And so then when they get to the NHL level, they've adjusted to the speed of the game. They know that they can handle the physical part of it, or I should say the technical part, tactical part of it. But dealing with the grind of the year and dealing with the grind of the playoffs is something that only experience can teach you.
We're talking to the Hall of Famer Dan Rusanowski, kind enough to join us up here in the broadcast booth. It's a 1-0 lead for the Colorado Eagles after 20 minutes of play in this best of 5 series. What a fun time of year it is. Playoff hockey, Stanley Cup playoffs, Calder Cup playoffs. I know the Sharks aren't in the playoffs, but how encouraged are you by this most recent season? There's been some growing pains, but it certainly seems with these young players, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, that's the phrase we've been using all year, and you start with Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith. These are guys that are going to be bona fide NHL stars, and they had a very solid rookie campaign. I thought Will got better with each and every game that he played. Second half of the year, he was right there with Macklin in terms of production. And as far as Macklin Celebrini is concerned, he's just got all the tools, including leadership skills, to one day be one of the top players in the NHL. And I'm just so excited about that. It's taken a little while for Mike Greer to get the cupboard filled back up, but he and Scott Fitzgerald and Chris Morehouse and the entire staff, I mean, Pat Funk is still going around Minnesota everywhere to all the high school games. I think that these guys do such a fabulous job of making sure not only that they're finding great players with a great deal of ability, but they're finding outstanding people who are going to be great professionals. And I think that those are little, I guess you could say, intangible factors that you really have to do a lot of homework to get the right group of people together. And I think that what we've seen this season is progress. They competed every single game. I don't think that was the case the year before. And the year before was really, they knew it was going to be like that. It was more of a tear-down year than a build-up year. But now the next step is to get to that next level, to try to take a step closer to the playoffs. And you can see other teams. You can see the Montreal Canadiens right now with people like Demidov, who just came in at the end of his season in the KHL, playing with Lane Hudson and playing with Suzuki and playing with Caulfield. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, this is not too long down the road. We're going to be saying Celebrini and Smith, and we're going to be saying some of the names on this team. Mukhamadullin, who's not here, unfortunately, because of an injury. Askarov, who's playing here. These are going to be the guys that we're going to be saying their names in the rebuild of the team to the Stanley Cup playoffs. And so back to the experience that they're getting here, very exciting, very important.
Well, it's going to be very, very interesting. You mentioned those young players joining their NHL teams to participate in the playoffs. Who knows, maybe a Sam Dickinson is impacting the Sharks next year. Even a guy like Zeke William, who was in the same draft class, got NHL games with the Wild in that opening round series against the Vegas Golden Knights. One last question for you, Ruzi. Your crystal ball. The lottery's on Monday. Do the Sharks have the best odds? Do they pick number 1 overall again this year? What's your gut feeling?
My gut feeling is they're not going to get it. That's my gut feeling, honestly. I don't know who's going to get it, but it's very, very rare for a team to win the first pick overall 2 years in a row. And maybe I'm just hoping for the best and preparing for not so the best, because if you're second or third, you're going to get an outstanding hockey player. And who knows what Mike Greer's got up his sleeve. They've got 2 first-round picks. They've got all kinds of opportunities to make moves if they need to make moves. And then, of course, you've got the free agency coming up on July the 1st, where I think we're going to see a lot of fireworks this year, primarily because of what happened with St. Louis. They signed 2 guys from Edmonton that were restricted free agents to offer sheets. Edmonton was not able to match those offers, and I think we're going to see more of that with teams that are in a little salary cap trouble. So look around the league and you can figure out who's going to be the guy that's on everybody's list.
Incredible. The offer sheets were so taboo just even prior to this past summer, but you're exactly right. St. Louis kind of opened maybe the eyes of a lot of teams about the potential of adding young players.
But back to what we're saying about the pick. I hope they win the lottery. I hope they get the first pick because that gives the team the best option to get the absolute best player available.
Well, without a doubt, the #1 coverage for the lottery, for development camp coming up this summer, for Calder Cup playoff hockey, and so much more when it comes to Sharks hockey is the Sharks 24-hour home, the Sharks Audio Network. Brucey, you're all over it. Folks, make sure to tune into the playoff show as well. Some great stuff. Enjoy listening to that as well. Will you be here on Sunday? Will we see you on Sunday?
I'm expecting to be here. However, I am married.
You are married. Yes, it is off season too. The fact you're here, we sincerely appreciate it.
No, actually, I'm planning on being here. I might get here a little late on Sunday, but you're not going to miss Calder Cup playoff action. Come on. It's been 35 years, for God's sake.
This is without a doubt a blast. The atmosphere is great in this building. Dan Rusanowski, the Hall of Fame play-by-play radio voice of the San Jose Sharks. Enjoy the rest of the game, partner. Say hello to Roy Sommer for me. I know he's
I'm on my way down there
around.
now.
We'll be back in a moment. 1-0 lead for the Colorado Eagles after 20 minutes of play. This is San Jose Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
Being there for live NHL games means more thrilling faceoffs, more action, and more memories made for the whole family. And when you need tickets to catch the San Jose Sharks at the ice, Ticketmaster's got you covered. As the official ticket marketplace of the San Jose Sharks and the NHL, Ticketmaster gives you more ways to find your perfect seat with a wide selection of tickets available for every game. And if your plans change, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell or transfer your tickets. Plus, mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. Check out the full schedule of upcoming games and get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
First intermission coverage continues now.
Welcome back inside TechCU Arena. Nick Nolan alongside the great Drew Amendment. A big thank you to Dan Rusanowski, the Hall of Fame play-by-play radio voice of the San Jose Sharks, for joining us during our first intermission. One game in the National Hockey League tonight, Drew. Game 6 between the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets, and the Blues have pushed to game number 7.
Unreal. The St. Louis Blues at home, man, they score goals. And the talk will start to pick up once again about Connor Hellebuyck, the guy who's nominated for the Hart and the Vezina. He will also face the scrutiny of the media and the fans. Next game will be the most important game of Connor Hellebuyck's career, I do believe. The one thing is really interesting, though, is that the St. Louis Blues, when you look down the stretch, it's not quite like 2019 when they won the Cup, but again, out of the playoffs, late in the season, and then they put that push on. They make the coaching change. They got Jimmy Montgomery coming in, and that team is one win away from going to the second round. Unreal.
And it would be another regular season champion getting ousted in round
the
number
President's
1.
Trophy curse, yeah.
So
the last time that, I think Detroit, 1990 something, won the President's Trophy and won the Cup, but I'd have to double check.
It's almost like a curse,
oh,
right?
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. I'm going to look it up right now. I wish we had a little computer in my hands.
We've got a Game 7 tomorrow, the Dallas Stars in Colorado Avalanche. That has been one whale of a series.
Yeah.
That'll be in Dallas at American Airlines Center. In the American Hockey League, Charlotte wins their opening game against Providence by a score of 5-1. That was in Providence. 4-0 final Laval. They're up 2-0 on the Cleveland Monsters, so one away from moving on. And the Lehigh Valley Phantoms even their series with the two-time defending Calder Cup champion Hershey Bears. That's the out-of-town scores in the American Hockey League.
Sorry, 2012-13, the Chicago Blackhawks finished first and won the Stanley Cup. That's 12 years ago.
Washington, who was kind of at the top of the pack for a good majority of the regular season. I'm sure they don't mind having just fallen back ever so slightly. It does take a little pressure off. I really do believe that.
100%.
Winnipeg, a hungry market, and all will be forgotten if Hellebuck could just find a way to get it done. I thought he had turned the corner with the way he played in the Four Nations. Now, they did lose the gold medal game, but I thought he was very solid. But it's incredible the way he's played the regular season. I mean, he's in Hart Trophy conversation as the NHL MVP.
Yeah. He's nominated as one of the MVPs, Draisaitl, Kucherov, and Connor Hellebuck. And I thought, I said before Game 5, Game 5 is the most important game of his career, and he played a really great Game 5. But it was interesting. Scott Arniel, as head coach, told him before Game 5, I don't care how many saves you make, whether you make 50 or 15, just make one more than the other guy. And tonight he was not able to do that. So it'll be Game 7s, when we love Game 7s, and we got 2 in the first round.
That should be a blast. Barracuda will move from right to left here in period number 2. This is game 1 of a best of 5 round 2 series. We mentioned it in our opener. A number 1 seed in the Pacific Division has never lost in the first round.
Well, this was a very good first period. Very entertaining first period. Got a little bit of snarl between both teams. I'm impressed with the Colorado Eagles and how well they skate. Their forwards got some hustle. I was also equally impressed with the San Jose Barracuda and how they exited their zone. Did a very good job of it. And as you said at the end of the period, just one breakdown, a poor change, a slow change by the Barracuda cost them. But overall, there's not much they need to change. Maybe be a little heavier in front of Colorado's net.
Colin White will take the center ice face-off draw against Jason Megna. Megna in his second stint with the Eagles. It's controlled by Colorado, and Ludwig will put it up the wall. Askarov will come out to play, and we're underway here in the second period. Colorado up 1-0. This is game 1 of a best of 5 second round series. Felleber works to the point, swing to the line, but into the feet of Ludwig. Give it along now. Here comes Carlson. Barracuda may have numbers. Carlson rolling puck, feeding it along for Graff. He still managed to get a pretty good shot off, but Miner able to gobble it up and hold on.
He did get a nice shot off. I thought maybe Lucas was going to shoot that puck and maybe go for the pass off the pads, but partially touched. But I love the fact that Colin Graff goes directly to the net, and we saw him do that in the winning goal in game 2. It wasn't really in his wheelhouse, but he was still able to get the puck to the net with some really good hands on the stick. Good chance early.
Face-off draw to the left side of Miner. You, of course, Drew, want to win your games on home ice, but this is a Colorado team dominant at home this year. A +60 goal differential, number 1 in the league. They were just a +5 on the road, but a +60 at home. Best home team in the league. And the last time the Barracuda were there, they split a 2-game weekend set. And that win in game 1 snapped a 9-game losing streak in that building. So these games are critical for the Barracuda to give themselves a fighting chance of winning the series.
Yeah, this next 40 minutes very important. And also just getting off on the, a trip. No, wow. No trip there. But just getting off on the right foot.
High hard hit there by Wagner as he just smoked Houle. Now it's lifted in on Askarov, and the right-handed catching netminder will glove it down and hold on with 46 seconds off the clock in the second period.
Wagner plays a very hard game. He's not very big, but he's thick. He goes to the body. There should have been a tripping call. It was definitely a trip on Ethan Frisch. And Preshapov just got away with it. The referee's looking right at it. I don't mind that you loosen up a little bit in the regular season, but you can't ignore a call that's right in front of you.
Chris Wagner in his career 61 Stanley Cup playoff games with Anaheim, Boston, and Colorado. This is game number 24 in the Calder Cup playoffs. Wagner in year number 13 of his pro career. Patrick Giles near side for the Cuda, plays it along for Donovan Houle. Gets it into the offensive zone, and Houle will scamper off to make a change. 1:15 gone in the second period. It's the Eagles 1 and the Barracuda nothing. Colorado controls behind its net. Sean, the 27-year-old, will swing it right side for Jason Poland. Rolls into the right corner, deep in the Barracuda zone. Hache with some pressure on. Tried to rim it. Now he pulls the puck in, skates near side, pushes along for Beasted, and Philip Beasted will carry it back to the neutral zone. He'll lift it in towards goaltender Minor. He reaches above. It makes the glove stop and holds on early in the second.
But another good exit out of the zone by the Barracuda. Where your offense has to happen and has to originate usually comes from the defensive zone. And the Cuda doing a very nice job supporting the puck and coming out with numbers and with speed.
Face-off draw to the left side of Minor. This full house just waiting to erupt. 1-0 lead for Colorado. Again, a very solid first period for the Barracuda. Nothing to show for it, but they certainly played well in that first. Just gave up the late goal. Cagnoni swings it to the net. That was getting whacked at by Cardwell along the cage. Now Regenda. And it's sticked off his blade. This is going to be a chance for a Sean coming down the wing. Good backtrack, Cagnoni. Now he pushes him off the puck. And they're going to call a penalty against Cagnoni. And the crowd can't believe it. A hold against Luca Cagnoni is going to put Colorado on its first power play.
I actually really like the way that Luca Cagnoni played that. He kept skating forward on his man, didn't back up, kept skating forward. I mean, it's a loser's lament when you complain about the referees on their calls, but after you let a blatant trip go, 2 shifts later you call a iffy, at best holding call on a good defensive play.
Face-off draw to the left side of Cagnoni. Wagner taking the draw for Colorado. He loses it. Patrick Giles just muscles it back up and over the offensive blue line. Giles in the corner. Acquired from Florida right at the deadline for Vitek Vanacek, and he's been a very nice addition to this Barracuda roster. He's played down the middle. He's played on the wing tonight. He's been a dynamo on the penalty kill.
That was excellent. Great job ragging the puck, holding onto it, protecting it.
And now Colin White from deep in his own end will swing it 200 feet. Colorado on the power play for another 127, their first of the game. TJ Tynan will skate it up the surface. Cuda did not give up a power play goal in their 2 wins against Ontario. Good defensive play, Cardwell. Ethan Cardwell will skate it up the right wing side. Swings it along, but the pass was behind the intended target, White. That allows for a Sean to steal. Now for Tynan. Tynan gives off for a Sean. Looking for it. Big post. It just dribbled its way through. Chris Wagner able to tip it past goaltender Askarov. It's a power play goal for Colorado, and they've got a 2-0 lead.
Go back. Ethan Cardwell. It's a shorthanded rush up the ice. They've got numbers back. Fire the puck at the net. Get it behind their D. Instead, it gets turned over, goes the other way. Wagner drives to the net off the outside. Shot. Wagner, you can tell by his reaction, he gets his stick on it, just squeaks through. And that's a big goal for the Colorado Eagles, obviously. Now the Cuda really have to bear down here. Try to find one to get themselves feeling good about their game past Trent Minor.
For Chris Wagner, he's been all over the ice tonight. He's got his first of the playoffs, 6th of his Calder Cup playoff career. And Colorado's got a 2-goal cushion. They are 1 for 1 on the power play. It was a really nice play by Cardwell to steal it away initially, but that pass behind White leads to a rush back up the ice, and Colorado makes the Barracuda pay.
Pucks at the net all the time, especially when you're shorthanded.
Now Cagnoni, right wing side, Frisch, catch and release. His shot blocked out of play. That'll stop play. 3 minutes, 22 seconds gone in the second period. Colorado up 2-0.
So, again, relentless patience. You're going to hear that a lot from us. And that's what John McCarthy's preaching. Keep playing the right way as much as you can. And when the other team gets momentum, simplify your game. Start putting pucks at the net. Start outnumbering. Keep your feet moving.
Face-off draw to the left side of Minor. He's turned aside all 13 shots that he has faced. Cagnoni left side from the point to the net. Goes off of Vincent. Pokes it free. Kicks it to his stick. And now it wheels up the wall for Ethan Frisch. He'll lay it for Sabrin, filling the empty space. Fires it on target. Rosen lost his glove. Was it Rosen? No, it was Van Royboys, excuse me.
And his stick.
and his stick, so he heads off to make a change. Beestead spills over the boards for him. Now he steals the puck, does Philip Beestead. Drops it for Sabourin, top of the circle, shoots, and he tried to pick the upper corner, but it just sailed over the crossbar. Beestead will run the puck down, settles it down in his own end, drops for Cagnoni, dangerously so. He'll slither away from Sendin and play it straight ahead for Donovan Houle. Tried to sidestep Stevens. Somehow Houle comes out with it. Donovan Houle, far side, chips it below the goal line. Stevens runs it down near side, pestered by Beestead, worked up the wall for Phillips. Phillips now for Magna, left wing side for Felleber. Felleber pulls up on Carlson as he gains the offensive line, swings it below the goal line. Eagles up 2-0 on the power play goal from the wily veteran Chris Wagner. Now left wing side is Sean. Holding, thought about pulling the trigger, reloads. Now he fires in the glove, stopped by Askarov, holds on. So the face-off draw will stay in the Barracuda zone. Goes without saying, Drew, but it feels like that next goal is going to be critical. Barracuda can ill afford to fall behind 3-0.
You talked about the success and the winning percentage of the Colorado Eagles and the Barracuda when each respective team scores first. Well, Colorado's not only scored first, but they got the second one as well. So you're right, Nick. Next one's really big.
Barracuda were third in the regular season in goals for, but with no Podorowski, just doesn't quite feel like they've got the same offensive oomph. But here's an intercept. Here comes Colin Graff busting in. He handed off for Gushtin, and it's forced just wide. Thrown back to the top of the crease for Colin White. What a chance there. Colin Graff feeding Daniil Gushtin, but he just couldn't quite complete it.
Stevens did a terrific job. Devontae Stevens coming back on that play to negate a clean pass across.
This is Gushtin's Calder Cup debut. Didn't play in the first 2 games, dealing with an illness. He'll drive the puck down in deep. Talked about it in the open. Colorado with the first round bye. They hadn't played in a couple of weeks. You wonder what's going to be the factor, rest or rust? And so far, it looks like Colorado, there's no rust to their game. They've got the 2-0 lead. No fluke that they led the Pacific Division with 94 points during the regular season. They're a well-coached, hard-working team. 14-14 left here in the second period. Barracuda pull it out of a scramble on the near side wall. Thompson gives off for Giles, feeds back for Thompson. And a fight going on in front of the net. Lugvid lost his bucket. And a high sticking call, I think, is going against Donovan Houle with 14:05 left in the second period.
Yeah.
And now the question, is it 2 or 4?
It looks like it's 4. Looks like the referee held up 4. He's got a nick, I think. Ludwig, and that's what the referee indicated. So in front of the net, Donovan Houle goes to the net, and it's not really a high stick. It's more of a stick. It's cross-check, but not a cross-check. The stick rides up and sustains a small injury, and it is a 4-minute double minor. Well, this is the critical moment right now, Nick, of the game.
A little bit different but similar in terms of that double minor against Ostapchuk in game 1, where he went to almost though kind of a cross check, as you mentioned. It just kind of rose up into the face.
The guy's coming at you. You're trying to defend yourself against the man, try to gain some space, but the stick comes up.
So this is a massive kill for the Barracuda, already down by 2. Patrick Giles trying to get to the puck. Good effort. Got it free. He's got Regenda working in, and a diving defensive play by Tynan. He went to his stomach and poked his side.
Big play by Tynan.
Now McDonald near side for a Sean. Wagner, who has the second goal on the power play, works it right corner. Frisch gets to it first, sealed along by Weiss, but he gave it away to Regenda. Barracuda may have numbers. Here comes Giles, busting in on net. Backhand, blocker stopped there by goaltender Miner.
Nice job by Miner to make that blocker save, but another chance shorthanded for the Barracuda.
Patrick Giles, I thought there was no way he was going to be able to separate, but those long strides,
Yep.
he got behind everybody. And Miner, who continues his brilliance, makes his 16th stop of the night and keeps it a 2-0 Colorado lead. Callie Rosen, who began the scoring back in the first for Magna, sidesteps Graf, takes it wide right. He'll flush the puck around the wall. Felleber awaits its arrival, works down to the hash mark, pivots the puck back left point for Rosen. Rosen, his shot. Askarov got tied up. He's upended, and they score. Yaroslav Askarov got run into. He was spilled to the deck. I think he's calling for a high touch or just the contact. And they're going to have a conversation here. The referee shaking his head as if it's going to stand.
Well, certainly Yaroslav Askarov, he's talking to the lines person right now. They're going to have a discussion. The other linesman comes over. So in the crease, geez, from that angle, Nick, that we saw in the replay, I don't see any goalie interference. Yes, the man was in the crease, but it didn't look like there was contact to me.
It does look like it's going to stand. A center ice face-off draw. You know, Magna was initially, it did look like his heels were in the blue paint, but once the puck got there, he kind of got away from it. There was not a ton of contact. You wonder if Askarov felt it a little bit and then was trying to maybe sell it a hair, but he got upended and was basically unable to get in a position to make a save. And it's lifted over him as he sprawled out the crease, and Colorado's got a 3-0 lead here in the second period.
Yeah, I agree with this call, Nick, as far as it should be a goal. I didn't think there was any major contact. That I think you're right that Yarrow maybe tried to settle it a little bit.
So Colorado, just like that, they've got a 3-0 lead, a couple of power play goals. They're 2 for 2. This time of year, special teams that much more amplified, and right now Colorado's winning that battle. They've got 2 power play goals, and they're still on the advantage. It was a double minor, and that goal comes within the opening 2 minutes of it. Now Felleber takes a whack at the puck. That went wide. Magna gives off Olausen, lays it back up top for McDonald. His shot from the middle of the point goes wide. May have hit off something en route. McDonald back left side for Phillips. Phillips seems to pass Olausen at a reload. Back up top McDonald. Now for Matt Phillips. Phillips back skating to the corner. Works it back up to the left point for McDonald. 3-0 lead for Colorado in game 1. Near side Olausen, one-timer. Askarov got over, and it hit him in the chest. He holds on for the whistle.
Yarrow tries to feel that one. He took the shot, and then he wanted to kind of squeeze a little bit. Wanted to make sure he had it. But the bad news is you're down by 3. Good news is you got 31 minutes left to try to get it back, but it's been very difficult. Trent Miner, go back to that shorthanded save he just made with the blocker, and then a few seconds or maybe a minute later, the Colorado Eagles come and get that third goal.
Off the draw, it's controlled by Colorado. Miner has made a couple of outstanding saves. Here's a chance now, though, for Beestead, shorthanded. He's on a breakaway. Beestead moving in. He scores! It's just what the doctor ordered. A shorthanded goal for Philip Beestead. And the Barracuda are right back in this game.
100% great call, Nick. That's exactly what the Cuda needed. They had 3 chances shorthanded, and Philip Beestead is away. Great reach defensively. He's got lots of time. Bang, shot down on the ice. Beats Trent Miner, and this place finally gets what they're looking for. A goal by the Barracuda, and you said it, right back in the game. 54 seconds, though, still left on Donovan Uhl's penalty.
It's Philip Beestead's second playoff goal, and he read the scouting report. On the TVs in the locker room were multiple clips of Trent Miner getting beat through the 5-hole, and that's exactly where Beestead put it. And the Barracuda on the board, a huge shorthanded goal. It's now a 3-1 Colorado lead.
I like it too because he didn't let Miner know that he was going to shoot it. Didn't wind it up. He just, boom, quick off his stick in stride.
Colorado still on the power play here, tying it up the left wing side, always a thorn in the Barracuda side, whether he's been with the Eagles or the Ontario Reign. Now Askarov behind his net, 28 seconds left on the power play as Houle sits for the double minor. Beasted's goal unassisted. A bit of a gamble from a shot in the defenseman, but Beasted with that long reach poked it past him. He was off to the races, and he beats Minor through the 5-hole to get the Barracuda on the board for the first time in this game. It comes on their 17th shot. Colorado back over the line. Prishapov will work it down and around the wall. McDonald awaits its arrival, pressured by Graff, poke free. Prishapov turns, fires, blocked by Thompson. Out of the box is Donovan Houle. Here comes Houle, one-on-one with Rosen, works middle ice. He'll leave it for Graff, tried to return it back for Houle, but he couldn't quite get it to his intended target. Barracuda still threatening. Graff along the ice, save made Minor, picked up Rosen and lifted back to center. Barracuda have a little momentum after that goal from Beasted. We are back to 5-on-5 play, and now Jimmy Schultz steps up on Prishapov and puts him down to the ice, and Prishapov gives him a little whack to the back of the leg. Left side now, Ludwig loads up, kicked out Askarov, Prishapov back left point. Now Ahmed, he'll tee one up, but that's wide. Came off the back wall, and Prishapov fanned on it. He was licking his chops on that backboard carom, but he just fanned on the shot.
It was a wide open net.
Just past the halfway point of the second period. Colorado 3, the Barracuda 1. Eagles scored once in the first. A couple of power play goals here in the second, but Philip Beasted has answered back with a shorthanded goal. 9:40 left in the second period. Puck jarred free. Beasted will feed it back for Sabrin. He'll sidestep Sendin, who tried to label him in the neutral zone. Now Sabrin protecting, swings it to the far corner. Ludwig will get to it. Takes a check from Vincent, placed back into the right corner. Now Ahmet for Colorado. He's hammered by Sabrin. A checking energy line out there of Vincent, Van Roboys, and Sabrin. Now Cagnoni sidesteps his man on the point, swings it wide. Sendin will chop it up the wall. Olausen trying to get to the puck. He'll pull up, far left side. He gives it away, and the Barracuda back up the surface in transition. Off the bench is Regenda, put on target. Sabrin getting into it behind the play with Olausen. The referee standing right there, and he elects to not call it down. And then Sabrin steps up and hammers Matt Phillips. Then Sendin gives him a shot, and that's got to be a penalty against Colorado. And Sabrin didn't realize the call was made. He was giving it to the referee on the far side of the ice. There was an altercation behind the play. Olausen and Sabrin. Olausen, I think, got away with one. They end up getting Sendin, I believe, for a penalty.
Sendin came on the ice. The puck came to him. Sabrin finished the check, and then the retaliation.
This building has awoken. It's a 3-1 Colorado lead. Delayed penalty against the Eagles here. Swung far side for Colin Graff. Hache now for the Cuda. Braden Hache, right side. Jack Thompson up and over the line. 6-on-5 with the net empty to our right. It's touchdown by Tynan, and that'll stop play. A cross-checking call against Mark Sendin is going to put the Barracuda onto the power play here.
The building has woken up, and so have the Cuda.
8:04 left in the second. It's the Eagles 3 and the Barracuda 1. But when we come back, the Barracuda are on to the power play. This is Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
Termites, rodents, and other pests never rest. Luckily, neither does Planet Orange. Think you may have a pest problem? Call 1-800-7-ORANGE for a free termite inspection or general pest consultation from our licensed professionals. Planet Orange is an innovator and effective eco-friendly pest control methods. They'll customize each program for your needs using the most eco-friendly solution available. So don't wait. Call 1-800-7-ORANGE. That's 1-800-767-2643. Or go to planetorange.com and get started today.
Planet Orange. Orange, you glad you called?
Want to stay up to date on all things San Jose, Barracuda, and Sharks prospects?
All you have to do is follow us on X,
Facebook,
Instagram, and YouTube
for exclusive content, breaking news, highlights,
and so much more.
For more information, visit sjbarracuda.com or find us at sjbarracuda.
Welcome back inside Texie Arena. A lengthy discussion. Jimmy Schultz was talking to one of the referees. Colorado captain Jason Megna was talking to one of the referees. Both teams trying to get their final word in, if you will, but it does look like the Barracuda are going on to the power play here for the second time in the game.
Wow, this is a very big moment now for the Barracuda to get themselves back in this game. Huge. They had a power play earlier in the game, got a really good chance out of it on Ethan Cardwell's one-time opportunity. Quick puck movement, people at the net, pucks to the net.
That penalty drawn by the pure tenacity and tenaciousness of Scott Saber, and Mark Sendin takes a seat. We were complimenting Saber earlier in the game too, just for his energy, but that was a great individual effort, able to draw the call. Barracuda win the faceoff. Up high to the point, Cagnoni, the power play dynamo. He'll play it down low for Regenda, who's been outstanding as a net front on this power play unit that led the league in percentage during the regular season. Regenda, half wall for Gushtin. Gushtin surveying, swings it to the net, couldn't get it through, and it's pushed along for Magna, and Colorado will work it back up and over the ice. Magna will veer it wide. Felleber will pick the puck up in the corner, trying to burn some time. It's a 1-on-3. Felleber doing a pretty good job of just burning time on this power play. It's still not charred free. You got to just bowl him over at this point.
Exactly. Got to play the body on the man. You got to push him off the puck.
7:20 left here in the second period. It's a 3-1 Colorado lead. They led 3-0 at one point before Philip Beestead scored shorthanded.
A really good job by Felleber there.
Now Colin Graff hits the blue line, right wing side. Beestead slips it back up high to the point. Cagnoni, left side Regenda. Regenda will swing it down into the corner. Daniil Gushtin pokes it free, had to hurry it quickly and get it off his stick just outside of the reach of, I believe, the intended target, Philip Beestead. And the Barracuda will start back up in their own end. Gushtin down the left wing side, 28 goals during the regular season. Now Colin Graff. Philip Beestead has it. Beestead up high to the point. Cagnoni. Cagnoni for Beestead. Beestead surveying. Back up top, Cagnoni. Fanned on the shot. Slides into the corner. Kept alive though. Gushtin flicks it back for Beestead. Top of the umbrella. Cagnoni back for Beestead. And he'll poke it into the corner for Gushtin. Cagnoni will make a change behind the play. Beestead looked a little bit out of gas there. And now a miscue by Gushtin allows for Weiss to skate it up and out of his own zone. And the power play is over.
Not aggressive enough to the net, Nick. It's a power play where they had zone time, but they weren't aggressive taking the puck to the net. In fact, did they get a shot? I don't think they did.
I don't think they did. They scored on their 17th shot of the game. They're sitting at 18 now. 5:45 left here in this second period. Colorado now 2 for 2 on the kill. Hache will put the puck down in deep. Corner board battle in the Colorado end. Eagles have goals from Rosen, Wagner, and Magna. Magna and Wagner scoring on the power play here in the second. Beestead has the lone Barracuda goal, his second of these playoffs. And now Hache on the left point has it on his blade. Hache threw it through Cardwell, picked up by Giles, tried to center for a pitching. Thompson never got to him. Giles continuing to battle away with Rosen on the end wall. Jam free now for Cardwell. His pass to the point tip. Good hold by Hache. He'll stuff it back into the corner. Now Giles gets inside of Ahmet. He's got the size advantage. Protecting Ahmet, feeding with a little bit of graphite to the mid-back. Now Hache along for Thompson. Blocker save minor. The puck planks atop the glass but stays in play. Now Cardwell from the point swings it to the net, but that's blocked. Ahmet, as steady as they come, lifts it back up the glass. Good hold, Cardwell, but he threw it far side, picked up by Felleber.
Patrick Giles, excellent shift. Good job along the boards, protecting the puck, winning those competitions, keeping it, protecting it, and making sure he was able to try to generate some chances.
Now Stevens holds the line for Colorado. It's a 3-1 Eagles lead, 4:20 left here in the second period. We'd like to welcome in our viewing audience for those watching for free on the AHL social media channels. Nick Nolenberger alongside the great Drew Amenda. Happy to have you aboard. Game 1 of this best-of-5 round 2 series. Pacific Division semifinal. Chase Bradley tried to seam a pass. He had Ivan behind everybody, but it never got to him. Drew back in by Ivan squared for Stevens. Left wing side. Up top, Malausen tees it up, but just wide.
Little push here by the Colorado Eagles.
Now Stevens into the corner. Ivan will pick it up far side. Got some games up top this year with the Avs. Colorado controls. Jack Kashan working to the middle ice. Up high near the point. Gives off for Ivan. Left wing side of Sean. 18 in white. Now for McDonald. Just misplayed it ever so slightly, and that allows for the Cuda to get it out of the zone. Now Van Roboy's near side. Vincent will stuff it up the wall.
Hit the linesperson.
Krishapov ran into the linesperson along the near side. That was a thunderous hit. He lost his bucket. And now a delayed penalty coming against the Barracuda. Vincent's laboring as he makes his way off the ice. I wonder if he's the guilty party. Another power play coming up for Colorado. They've already got a couple of power play goals. Didn't see what occurred, but we did see Vincent heading off in pain. Shots are 19-13 in favor of the Barracuda, even at 6 apiece in this second, but Colorado has a 3-1 lead. Barracuda's lone goal came short-handed earlier in this period. Felleber's over the line and punch it down and around the wall. Wagner will collect. He scored earlier in the frame. Plays it around the boards for Felleber. Up top for McDonald. McDonald 13 power play goals in the regular season. Ludwig fanned on a one-time bid. He'll reload. Back up top for McDonald. Now for Ludwig, top of the right circle, working in, shoots, somehow it made it through, they score! Ludwig siphons a shot through tons of traffic. It beats Askarov, blocker side, and the Colorado Eagles push their lead back to 3.
Well, this was an extension of a lot of pressure by the Colorado Eagles. They kept the pressure on even before the penalty was being called, before they went to 6-on-5. And there's that traffic in front we talked about. One of the keys to the game was net front presence and net front. Make sure that you are winning those battles. And I don't know if Yaroslav Askarov saw that until it was too late when it went behind him.
So the Barracuda have now given up 2 power play goals in this period and a goal during a delayed penalty. I don't think Askarov never saw it. That got through a ton of traffic.
Yeah.
In fact, it looked like it changed direction. Ludwig was the one who pulled the trigger. He's the one who led the fist bump line, usually indicating he was the goal scorer, but it really had to make its way through a ton to get into the back of the net. Barracuda have to get back to work here. Really played well in the first. They outshot the Eagles 12-6. Offside now against Colorado will stop play, but Colorado got a late goal. The Eagles potted a couple on the power play. Barracuda got one back. Colorado back up by 3 on that goal from John Ludwig. 1:45 left in the second period. It's the Eagles 4, the Barracuda 1. We're back in a moment. This is Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
The hat trick for William Eklund.
NHL fans, give yourself some great looks this season and get Sharks tickets at Ticketmaster.
Oh, what a save by Blackwood.
As the official marketplace of the Sharks and the NHL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game so you can catch all the action live.
Vlasic shoots and he scores.
If your plans change, you can sell or transfer your tickets, and mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. With Ticketmaster, you'll ensure that when they shoot, you'll score. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/NHL.
Back to Barracuda play-by-play with Nick Nolenberger.
4-1 lead for the Colorado Eagles. Nick Nolenberger alongside Drew Amenda. We'd like to thank those listening on the Sharks Audio Network, those watching on AHL TV on FloHockey. This is game 1 of a best-of-5 second-round series. Colorado got a first-round bye as the #1 seed in the Pacific Division. This series will continue on Sunday, and then game 3 scheduled for Tuesday in Loveland. And if necessary, game 4 will be on Wednesday. And then we get to enjoy the beautiful scenes and sights of Loveland, Colorado, because game number 5, Drew, isn't until Sunday.
Right. I've never been to Loveland, Colorado.
Great building. Unbelievable atmosphere.
It's fantastic. Yeah, and why not? The Colorado Eagles are a heck of a team, so fans are going to be up there making sure that they're supporting their club, like the Sharks or the Cuda fan. 2 times, Nicky, I owe you $2. The Cuda fans are supporting right now. The big key for the Jeepers, I'm getting into it, for the Cuda is that you have to make sure that you understand you're never out of a playoff game. We see it time and time again. that there are comebacks all the time. So clean up your discipline, do a better job in your defensive zone, do a better job in front, but get your game going back in the right direction.
These series, even though this isn't a best of 7, these are marathons, certainly not sprints. Long, long way to go. Barracuda have some work to do here, though, trailing by 3. Daniil Gushin will chip it along for Colin White. Delayed offside against the Cuda. They tag up, lift it down in deep. First on it for Colorado is Ahmet. Will swivel it up the wall for Ivan. Pestered by Colin White. Veered along for Jake Weiss, and Weiss will work to the red line. Good backtrack by Gushin, but comes free for Poland. He's got a step working and shoots. Askarov the save. Took a whack at the carom, but it was forced wide. Back up high to the point. Stevens punches it in on net from distance. Turned down Askarov and lifted to center by the Cuda. Now Colin White will slap the puck down in deep. Barracuda, of course, don't have Podorowski, the AHL's MVP, still considered week to week. He was on the ice today following morning skate, so that's a good indication, but not skating with the group yet, so I think he's still a little bit of ways from rejoining this team. Philip Beestead with it. We're under a minute to go now in this second period. It's a 4-1 Colorado lead, and now we've got a penalty coming against the Eagles, I believe, for holding. And Prishapov looks like the perpetrator. He's making his way to the penalty box. So with 39.1 seconds left in this second period, we'll see if the Barracuda can capitalize on the power play. They are 0 for 2 to this point. Back in a moment, this is Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
Shot score! Watch all live San Jose Barracuda play-by-play with Nick Nolenberger on AHLTV.com. From highlight reel goals to spectacular saves and bone-crushing hits, the voice of the Barracuda, Nick Nolenberger, is on the mic for it all. Find all regular season and postseason action via AHLTV.com for a small fee. And for up-to-date stats and news, visit theAHL.com.
Get the best seats to Broadway San Jose's 2025-26 season now when you become a season subscriber. See in Juliet, Some Like It Hot, A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, The Wiz, Back to the Future, and a new production of The Sound of Music. Gain immediate access to returning blockbusters including The Book of Mormon, Beetlejuice, and more. The 6-show package starts at just $50 per ticket and includes all fees. Sign up now at BroadwaySanJose.com.
Back to the action. Here's Nick Nolenberger.
4-1 lead for the Colorado Eagles. 39.1 seconds left in the second period. A goal here, and the Barracuda would feel a lot better about where they are at heading into the final period.
39.1 seconds left. So what you want to see, they need to see from the Barracuda is pucks to the net. Got to be more aggressive. It's a very aggressive penalty kill. How you beat that? You got to move the puck quick. Can't hold on to it. Move it quick. Get it to the net. Recover. Do it again.
Face-off draw to the right side of Trent Miner, who's been very good in this game. 18 of 19 turned aside. Off the draw, it's won by Colorado. Swung around the wall, run down Felleber in the offensive zone. 48 and White did a good job of melting time in the last Barracuda power play. This time, Cagnoni ties him up, and Beestead pulls the puck free. Gushin, left side for Beestead, up and over the line, weaving through some traffic, rolled off his blade into the right corner. Trying to run down the loose puck. Poke back up the wall, but Beestead gave it away. Here comes Magna. It could be a 2-on-1. Late stages of the period. Magna working in. Right arm stopped by Askarov, and that puck drops into the right corner. 4 ticks left in the period. Now Magna centers it back in front, and the horn will sound.
The urgency of that power play needs to pick up, because the more urgent team, the more hardworking team was Colorado Eagles. They got 1 up to 2 chances at the end. The Cuda taking it too easy, relaxing too much. Power play means you've got to outwork the penalty killers, and right now that's not happening.
Barracuda will be on the power play for 1:21 to begin the third, but they've got some work to do. They trail 4-1 after 40 minutes of play. Colorado scoring twice on the power play in that period. They also scored during a delayed penalty. Philip Beestead has the Barracuda's lone goal, and it came shorthanded in that second. We're back in a moment. This is Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
The doctor will see you now. But do they really? Do they see you as a mother who's a daughter and a caregiver? Fearless, but sometimes fearful? A health nut with a French fry habit? An O-positive geologist named Patty, who's here today for a melanoma exam. At Kaiser Permanente, we believe the only way to care for all of you is by seeing all that is you. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is you. Learn more at kp.org.
Like a goalie gloving a wicked slap shot, Western Digital devices capture your data and hold on tight. Our line of SSDs and hard disk drives feature robust hardware encryption and password protection to help keep your data safe in the face of a wide range of threats. It's like having an all-star tendy for your important files and favorite content. Western Digital, a proud official partner of your San Jose Sharks.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Watch all live San Jose Barracuda play-by-play with Nick Nolenberger on AHLTV.com. From highlight reel goals to spectacular saves and bone-crushing hits, the voice of the Barracuda, Nick Nolenberger, is on the mic for it all. Find all regular season and postseason action via AHLTV.com for a small fee. And for up-to-date stats and news, visit theAHL.com.
Second intermission coverage continues now.
Welcome back inside TechCU Arena. 4-1 lead for the Colorado Eagles. Barracuda out shooting the Eagles 19-17 through 2 periods of play. But Colorado drew twice on the power play. They score. They tack on another goal during a delayed penalty. That's their MO, though. They don't always dominate in terms of the offensive side of the puck, but they are highly opportunistic when it comes to scoring goals.
Yeah, they really are. I think where that period changed, Nick, was when the Barracuda had a power play opportunity and they didn't take the puck to the net. They were too slow moving it. They were too laissez-faire, and the Colorado Eagles took advantage of that. They were able to, after when it went 5-on-5, get the puck in the zone, keep the puck in the zone, and then get that goal. And the other opportunity for the Barracuda was on that first power play that the Colorado Eagles struck. The Colorado Eagles done a very good job on getting to the front of the net. Good job on getting shots through. You'd like to see the CUDA to counter that, be more aggressive on trying to kill plays early. To me, there's too much time spent in the defensive zone. That's easier said than done because the Eagles hurry, they get around the puck, and they are a quick group.
Was it just me, or did it feel like Colorado, that pressure, starting to kind of chip away a little bit at the Barracuda, at least in that second period?
100%. Yeah. They are a team that they're undersized up front, as say, compared to the Barracuda, but their speed and quickness, which John McCarthy talked to you about, is what brings the pressure. And they play hard. They're a very physical team. So for Barracuda, again, you're never out of a playoff game. Maybe a 5-minute major happens on your side and you're able to get some advantage, just like we've seen teams do again and again. San Jose Sharks go back against the Vegas Golden Knights. You're down by 3 and you get the opportunity with a 5-minute major. You're never out of a playoff game.
Barracuda.
I was going to say, but you've got to make sure that you get your feet moving. You've got to match the quickness, the hustle, the compete level of your opposition.
And as you mentioned, Drew, Barracuda will be on the power play to start the third, so they've got a chance for 121, but you've got to figure something out because that power play a little bit stagnant. The urgency has not been there, and that's a unit that was #1 in the league during the regular season. You wonder, with a guy like Gushta, didn't play the first couple of games. He's been out for a couple of weeks. Doesn't seem like some of that rust has maybe creeped in a little bit. We'll see if he can fine-tune it in the third.
He's got to be more deliberate. The whole power play does. but you got to be more deliberate with your passing. You got to be quicker with your passing. You've got to get to the net. You've got to get pucks to the net. It's really simple. When things aren't working for you, simplify. And so for Daniil Gushin, yep, it takes a little bit to get back to that speed, especially the speed at which the Colorado Eagles play, but also for the rest of the guys, the other 4 guys, you've got to be moving quickly. You've got to be recovering. It's something that John McCarthy talks about all the time, as does Ryan Rosowski from the Sharks. Simplify when things aren't clicking. In your B game, if your A game's not there, in your B game, make it simple, make it direct, and things will get going back in the right direction.
We'll have another edition of AHL Plays of the Week when we return. 4-1 lead for the Eagles after 40. This is Barracuda Calder Cup playoff hockey in the Sharks Audio Network.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Termites, rodents, and other pests never rest. Luckily, neither does Planet Orange. Think you may have a pest problem? Call 1-800-7-ORANGE for a free termite inspection or general pest consultation from our licensed professionals. Planet Orange is an innovator in effective eco-friendly pest control methods. They'll customize each program for your needs using the most eco-friendly solution available. So don't wait. Call 1-800-7-ORANGE. That's 1-800-767-2643. Or go to planetorange.com and get started today.
Planet Orange. Orange, you glad you called?
Watch all live San Jose Barracuda play-by-play with Nick Nolenberger on AHLTV.com. From highlight reel goals to spectacular saves and bone-crushing hits, the voice of the Barracuda, Nick Nolenberger, is on the mic for it all. Find all regular season and postseason action via AHLTV.com for a small fee. And for up-to-date stats and news, visit theAHL.com.
What's up, AHL fans? The Calder Cup playoffs are well underway with all of the first-round series now complete and the division semifinals getting started. There have been plenty of highlights and significant moments already. I'm David Foote from the Belleville Senators, here to bring you some of those key plays from the American Hockey League postseason's opening round in the latest edition of the AHL Plays of the Week. We'll kick things off in Allentown, where the Lehigh Valley Phantoms wrapped up a 2-game sweep of their Battle of Pennsylvania series with the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. Phantoms defender Helga Grans counted the game winner with 2 minutes left at PPL Center last Friday. Bob Rotruck on the call.
And carried up ice and through center. Grans dodges past Poulan. Hands it off Luchenko. Centering Ricardo. What a save! Marishov rebound goal! The Phantoms take the lead on the rebound of the Richard shot. Helga Grans got there good. Diving for that puck.
Phantoms will take on another opponent from the Keystone State in the Atlantic semis as they battle the 2-time defending Calder Cup champs from Hershey, coming off an opening round bye. A little further east, the series between the Providence Bruins and Springfield Thunderbirds was a close one. However, their deciding third game at Amica Mutual Pavilion last week was one-sided. Ian Mitchell's goal about 8 minutes into the third period would put the P-Bruins ahead of the T-Birds 2-1 and give them a lead for the first time outside of overtime in the series, as we hear from Providence's Austin Rook.
On the diagonal, stop there by Brown, up high to Mitchell. Brown, Mitchell, one-timer, scores! It's Mitchell's goal at 12:19 to go in the third. Bruins lead for the first time in the series in regulation. Ian Mitchell with a bomb from up high on the power play.
The Bruins would go on to win the game 5-1 and will match up against the Charlotte Checkers in the next
on a tap play. 2-0 Rockford.
The Amherst with the draw up top and a shot. They score! From out top, one-timer ripped in and in the lower right corner.
That's deja vu, Don. That's
Jack Clegg again.
That's Cale Clegg again from the left point, just like he did not even 48 hours ago.
Meanwhile, Texas is up 1-0 on Grand Rapids in the other division semi that's just underway. We'll have all of the best clips from that series and the rest of the 2025 Calder Cup playoffs on next week's edition of the AHL Plays of the Week. I'm David Foote from the Belleville Senators. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the game.
The doctor will see you now. But do they really? Do they see you as a mother who's a daughter and a caregiver? Fearless, but sometimes fearful? A health nut with a French fry habit? An O-positive geologist named Patty, who's here today for a melanoma exam. At Kaiser Permanente, we believe the only way to care for all of you is by seeing all that is you. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is you. Learn more at kp.org.
The Hilton San Jose is the preferred hotel of the San Jose Sharks and SAP Center in San Jose. Experience something new. Close to home or from across the world, the Hilton San Jose is there for you with memorable offers and experiences. Enjoy the brand new guest rooms with luxurious Waldorf Astoria beds and upgraded amenities. We're committed to creating a safe and relaxing experience, including delivering an even cleaner stay from check-in to check-out. Visit sanjose.hilton.com now to make your reservation. We are Hilton. We are hospitality.
NHLShop.com, the official online store of the National Hockey League, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear, with unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
The hat trick for William Eklund.
NHL fans, give yourself some great looks this season and get Sharks tickets at Ticketmaster.
Oh, what a save by Blackwood.
As the official marketplace of the Sharks and the NHL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game so you can catch all the action live.
Vlasic shoots and he scores.
If your plans change, you can sell or transfer your tickets, and mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. With Ticketmaster, you'll ensure that when they shoot, you'll score. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/NHL.
Second intermission coverage continues now. Now, back to the action. Barracuda hockey continues now.
Here at number 3, right on the horizon, Barracuda trail by a score of 4-1. They will begin the third on a power play for 121. Down by 3. We'll see if they can get something going early, and that would certainly go a long way in their quest to get back into this game. But you mentioned it, Drew, never out of a playoff game because there's the potential of a 5-minute major. And certainly with this crowd, this atmosphere, if the Barracuda can get something going early, you feel like it could snowball in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the Barracuda, it starts right here off the draw. A lot of times when you have a power play broken up by a stop in the intermission on between one period and the next, your power play doesn't get things going, doesn't get their feet moving, don't have that urgency. Well, you can't afford that right now if you're the Barracuda. 121 to take advantage of the man advantage, and you've got to be ready to go right now.
Barracuda will travel from left to right here in this final 20 minutes of play. Colorado up 4-1 in game one of this best-of-5 series. Game 2 set for Sunday here at Tech CU Arena. That's a 6 o'clock puck drop. We'll have all the pregame coverage starting at 5:30 on the Sharks Audio Network and on AHL TV on FloHockey.
So starting out, John McCarthy, Colin White, Ethan Cardwell, Zach Ostapchuk, and Lucas Carlson, Jack Thompson on the point. So not the number one power play unit, which has been, as we talked about, lacking that urgency.
Chuck will take the draw, and puck is down, and we are underway here at period number 3. Nick Nolenberger alongside Drew Amenda. Could over the line. Cardwell splitting the defense, but he just lost the handle at the final moment, or he would have been one-on-one with goaltender Trent Miner. Now Jack Thompson, half wall for Cardwell, his childhood buddy. Played it down low. That got ramped over the target. Rosen tries to steer it out of the zone. Held in by Carlson. Given off Thompson. Left wing side. Back for Carlson. A howitzer from the left point. Gobbled up by Miner.
Like it. Like that start. Almost, as you said, Ethan Cardwell getting in for that opportunity. But recover the puck. Back to the point. Shot. Although, you know, to be extra critical, get in front of Trent Miner, because when he sees it right now, he's stopping it.
Soft draw will be to the right side of Miner. Go down low for Cardwell. Ostapchuk up top, Carlson. Left corner for White, serving. Back for Carlson. Carlson, his pass picked off by Wagner.
Good stick by Wagner. Lucas tried to get a little sauce underneath that pass, and Wagner knocked it down.
55 seconds gone in the third. 25 seconds remaining on the power play. Carlson over the line for the Cuda, left wing side. Tried to horseshoe it around the wall. It was stick to side, picked up by Colorado. Pressure, though, by Colin White. Gives off now for Gushtin. Gushtin out there on this power play unit. Half wall for Cardwell. Cardwell inching towards the net. Put it towards the target. That was blocked down. Back up top for Lucas Carlson. Carlson for Cardwell. On his feet is Prishapov. Back to 5-on-5 play. Barracuda are 0 for 3 on the power play. Cardwell rimmed it around the wall, but no one home because San Jose was making a change. So it drifts back to center ice. This is Trent Miner's Calder Cup playoff debut. You wouldn't know it. He's been solid as a rock. Okay, his puck is up and out of play. That'll stop play.
First period save on Ethan Cardwell. One couple of shorthanded chances, saves, and a breakaway save after that. Trent Miner has been definitely a top player tonight on the ice.
There's always those inflection points in games. Cardwell, if he buries it, Barracuda have a 1-0 lead. If Giles scores on a breakaway, it ends up being a 2-1 score. Instead, Colorado scores moments after that save to go up 3-0.
That's right. You know, I think it was Daryl Sutter, Stanley Cup winning coach, talking about Jonathan Quick, said it's not even how many he makes, it's when he makes them. And that really is a big key for goaltenders.
Face off to the right side of Miner. Well, didn't Wayne Gretzky say at one point that Grant Fuhrer maybe didn't have the greatest of numbers, but man, was he clutch, and he wouldn't take any other goaltender in a big game.
Yeah, and he was right. Sometimes Grant Fuhrer had to go introduce himself to his defense in games, but when it came down to it, making the big save at the right time.
Rosen will clank it off the boards, back to the neutral zone, nearing 2 minutes gone in the third. Eagles 4 and the Barracuda 1. Felleber will play it for Rosen. Worked back along the ice. Matt Phillips will carry the mail up the wing, leaves it for Felleber, but that puck just came out of the zone. It'll stop play for an offside. 2 minutes, 11 seconds gone in the third.
Now getting through the neutral zone is going to be difficult in this third period. Colorado 4-1, and as John McCarthy told you before the game, they play similar in the neutral zone to the Ontario Reign, where they back up and it's a 1-2-2 and making sure everybody is above the puck. But they do it much better than the Ontario Reign do it. They're quicker, they bring more pressure.
Stopchuk will carry it through center. Swings it on Miner, off his glove hand, picked up by Bradley of Colorado, slapped back into the corner by the Cuda. One-timer fanned on by Stopchuk, pulled in, Houle put to the net, good thought, but it is stopped down by Miner into the corner. Back down low for Giles. Giles has had a solid game for the Barracuda in a multitude of facets as the puck is rimmed around the wall for Haché. Devontae Stevens will shovel it up the boards. Allows it, lost it, pulled back in though, and Sendin will skate up the wing. He's cut off though by Jack Thompson just as he gained the line. Then Giles lost it. There's a shot high and wide by Bradley as he tried to pick the corner. Colorado will make a change on the fly. Haché will run it down, lift it along, and get it back to the red line. 4-1 lead for the Eagles. 16:50 left here in period number 3. Live from Tech CU Arena in San Jose. Great crowd on hand for game 1 of this best-of-5 series. First ever playoff game here at Tech CU Arena. There's a shot on it, right pad stop Askarov. Tie up in the corner. Now it's poked free to Lucas Carlson. Carlson with his head up for Van Roboys. And it's played along. Ahmet will hoist the puck back into the Barracuda third of the ice. No Podorowski, no Bordeleau, although Bordeleau was skating today as well. He got injured in his one game up top with the Sharks. Upper body injury. Spoke to him this morning, said he's definitely feeling better and feels like he's getting closer. We'll see if he ends up playing in the series. Poland now in the corner. Weiss pulls it in for Colorado. Skates into the trapezoid, looks to center. And Regenda will slap it along. Pafo Regenda up the left wing side will bounce the puck down in deep. Cardwell putting the pressure on Rosen, but Rosen comes out with it. 15:45 left here in the third period. Now Prishapov on his backhand, still holding on to it. Circles the wagons behind the cage. Prishapov right side. A shot by Mignick. Got shoveled through the blue paint. Dangerous look for Jason Poland of Colorado. And now Haché for the Barracuda will drive it along for Beasted. Got through him. And it wraps around the boards back in the Colorado zone. Beasted has it now. Philip Beasted. Couple of players trying to lift his stick, and it's taken away from him. And is this an icing? No, they're going to wave it off. So Beasted back in his own end. 4-1 lead for Colorado. Lucas Carlson will carry it up ice. Now for Gushtin. Gushtin hits the blue line. Protecting. Gets it for Carlson. Shoots, and that's blocked by Ludwig. Back up top for Carlson. Carlson near side. One-timer by Jimmy Schultz, and a flash of the leather by Trent Miner. He makes the save and holds on.
Oh, good entry into the zone by the Cuda, but in the first almost, or a little bit over 5 minutes, what you're seeing, very good checking by the Colorado Eagles, getting up, pressuring. That's kind of the first instance into the zone for the Barracuda where they had some polish on their game, some polish with the puck.
Jimmy Schultz not usually relied on for his offense, but he can pound a puck. He was really offensive during his collegiate career, but has taken on more of a shutdown role as a pro. And Miner made a very good save on a low shot that was well placed. Eagles looking to leave their end. Bradley will play it along for Olausen. Olausen centers in front. Carlson ties up his man. Good effort. Pulled back in by Olausen. Kicked along by McDonald below the goal line. Now Chase Bradley trying to slip away from traffic. And Schultz had it at his feet. Sinden will put it on net. Blocker save Askarov. Colorado winning that battle, and now it's forced back to neutral. 14:02 left here in the third. Nick Nolenberger alongside Drew Amend on this Friday night, game one of his best of 5 round 2 series. The other Pacific Division matchup, Coachella Valley and Abbotsford. Canucks took game one last night by a score of 3-1 at Acrisure Arena in Palm Springs. Play straight ahead. It'll go all the way back into the Barracuda zone. Frisch along for Cagnoni. Around the wall is Stopchuk. Jammed back into the Barracuda zone. Now Weiss for Colorado. Into the Barracuda end. Cagnoni's got to slip away from the pressure. And Patrick Giles, every time a puck carrier has it for the Cuda, there's just almost no time and space. They're pressured immediately.
Yeah, and Colorado doing a very good job of that.
Now Van Roboys, an errant pass to the far side, pulled in by Sabourin. It's like a rhythm timing offensive football.
Yep.
It just cannot quite get anything going because of the pass rush.
That's exactly right. That's a great analogy, Nick.
Now Megna gets behind everybody. Askarov came out to play the puck, and that was a dangerous opportunity. Back to the net, it's thrown by the Eagles, didn't get through. Askarov got away with one there as the puck down at his feet as he came out to play it. Barracuda just a little bit out of sorts right now. It's another off-target pass will fuel the transition for Colorado. Felleber, he takes a check along the wall by Van Roboys. Felleber springs back to his feet, puck finds him. Now a corner board battle, 11:56 left here in the third. Sabourin will push it along for Regenda, and Regenda will bank it off the dasher board down and deep. Now Lausen for Colorado, down the left wing side. The Eagles making a partial change behind the play. Lausen spots Stevens just coming off the bench. His shot through some traffic. Good save, Askarov. Loose puck picked up far side. Beeston worked along for Jimmy Schultz. Schultz has Sinden draped all over him. Now Cardwell, a rising pull of the trigger, snared by Miner and held on. 11:20 left in the third. It's the Eagles 4, the Barracuda 1. We're back in a moment. This is Calder Cup Playoff Hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
They say the game starts when the puck is dropped, right? Wrong. NHL Preplay presented by Geico is the game before the game. It's the free-to-play daily NHL Pick'em game. So how's it work? Every game day before the puck is dropped, answer up to 10 questions and earn points for a chance to win $50,000. It's that easy. Score big with the game before the game. Play today on the NHL app or at nhl.com/preplay.
The Hilton San Jose is the preferred hotel of the San Jose Sharks and SAP Center in San Jose. Experience something new. Close to home or from across the world, the Hilton San Jose is there for you with memorable offers and experiences. Enjoy the brand new guest rooms with luxurious Waldorf Astoria beds and upgraded amenities. We're committed to creating a safe and relaxing experience, including delivering an even cleaner stay from check-in to check-out. Visit sanjose.hilton.com now to make your reservation. We are Hilton. We are hospitality.
This game far from over. 11:20 left in the third. 4-1 lead, though, for Colorado. Drew, it feels like this series is going to be defined by whether the Barracuda can make one in-game adjustments, but certainly adjustments from game 1 to 2, because Colorado's just giving them fits right now.
Yeah, I think your analogy was perfect when you talked about the defensive pass rush, and it reminds you of when we talked about it in the break. It was the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The pass rush won the game for the Eagles. So how do you take skill away? Well, you take the time and space away from them. The Eagles are doing that. So what do you do to counter that? Well, you again get simple pucks behind, but also you've got to get moving off the puck to support like they did in the first period out of their zone. You got to make sure the passes are short and sweet. Get some polish back in your game.
11:20 left in the third. 4-1 lead for Colorado. Face-off draw to the left side of Trent Miner, who in his Calder Cup playoff debut has been outstanding for the Eagles. Off the draw, though, Gushin has it. Loads up, save made by Miner.
Good save. Good look off by Daniil Gushin.
Now a corner board battle. 11:08 left in the third. And it's lifted free and cleared out of the zone by Colorado. Game 2 set for Sunday here at TechCU Arena. Game 3 will be in Loveland on Tuesday. There's a turnover. Wagner will skate it over the line. He scored back in the second. A chance for Tynan as that puck somehow made its way through.
I think Luca Cagnoni thought it wasn't going to. It was going to be fine, and Tynan was right there. Stayed with it.
Now Colin Graff had the game-winning goal late to the victory on Saturday. Tried to feed it middle ice. Barracuda could not convert. It's forced back to center. Donovan Houle, rookie forward out of Maine, will lay it back for Braden Hache. Quickly releases for Jack Thompson. And Thompson will skate to the red line and drive the puck in deep. Donovan Houle will shovel it back down low. Giles will bank it off the end wall. Ostapchuk up high to the point. Swivel along for Thompson. There's a shot from well out that got through, but did change direction ever so slightly and went wide.
I thought it was going up and over. It was going behind.
Stuff back below the goal line. Ludwig, who also scored in the second, will rim it around the wall. Ostapchuk loads up, kicked out by Miner. Rebound was there for Houle, but he couldn't get the shot through.
Ludwig again. He's played good tonight for them.
Now Giles coming down the wing, pulls up to the hash marks. Patrick Giles to the net, right pad stop by Miner. Barracuda starting to pressure a little bit. Now Prishapov will swivel it back to center. Nikita Prishapov, 85 in white, will lift the puck along. Batted off the ice by Carlson, put on net though by Megna, and pulled in by Regenda of the Barracuda. Now Matt Phillips works the puck down in deep. Phillips played all those games as a member of the Flames organization against the Barracuda. 12 times a year as a member of the Stockton Heat as the puck is lifted down into the right corner. Now Felleber far wing, worked along for Phillips. Phillips cut off by Jimmy Schultz.
Terrific job again by Jimmy Schultz.
8:44 left here in this third period. It's a 4-1 Colorado lead. They scored 3 times in the second period. Cagnoni will push it down in deep. Hits it down low for Van Roboys. Bradley bumps Sabourin. Now Sendin for Colorado lifts it over Cagnoni and back into the Barracuda third of the ice. Frisch up the wall for Bradley. Lost his footing as he gained the line. Olausen now with some rear pressure from Van Roboys. So Olausen dropped to both of his knees, but he gets it to the point. Rosen near side Ahmet. Wyatt Ahmet will place it back left corner. And Roboys will scoop it up off the end wall, force it along for Sabourin. Played now back for Ethan Frisch, and Frisch with some real estate will gain the line. Ethan Frisch coming down the wing, shoots, and he tried to pick the corner. And that grazed off the left arm of Miner.
Got to get some help over there with Colin White by himself.
Now Sabourin will sauce the puck near side, chip back in deep by the Cuda. Colin White trying to get to it, slips inside of Rosa, but he's outnumbered. It's a 1-on-3. Ahmed up the near side wall. Wagner to go through him quickly, thrown back to the net by Thompson, but it had some space under, some air under it rather, and just sailed over the net. And now Colorado able to chip the puck back into the Barracuda zone. Won't have enough to be an icing picked up right before the goal line by Jack Thompson. Thompson with some Calder Cup playoff experience under his belt with Syracuse. Came over in the trade from Tampa Bay last year. And now Gushin for the Barracuda will one-hand the puck into the left corner. Ludwig on it for Colorado. Some pressure on from Colin Graff and Daniil Gushin. Pulled free by Graff. Graff will play it back down low for Gushin. Gushin protecting the puck. Work below the goal line. Stuffed free by Colorado. Barracuda working for it. Back thrown to the net. They score! Well, you've been saying it all night, Drew. Just put pucks on net. That was a wicked angle. I don't think the intention was to score from Graff, but it ends up bouncing its way through on Trent Miner, who's been so good tonight. But it gets past him, and the Barracuda have some life with 6:44 left here in the third.
Boy, they needed that, but how did they get it? They got it through getting the puck in behind the D, working along the boards, winning those pucks, protecting the puck. Colin Graff makes the play as he turns and fires, but Lucas Carlson pitches in from the point, keeps the play alive, and just a turn and fire to the net. It's never a bad play to put the puck on the net, and here we go. The Barracuda, as you said, have some life.
He was below sea level, below the goal line as he banked it off of Miner and in. So it's back to a 2-goal differential. Colin Graff is second of these playoffs. Unassisted at 13-16. Now Jimmy Schultz in the neutral zone, near side for Carlson, along for Giles. Takes a check from Ashad, springs back to his feet. Patty Giles will work it down the half wall for Houle. Went through him, and then he takes a bump from Ashad. Frisch stepping up from the right side, upends Megna. And Megna now with it will turn and lift the puck back to the neutral zone. 4-2 lead for Colorado after the goal from Colin Graff here in this third period at 13-16. Now Regenda for the Cuda. Pivots the puck down the wall. Beestead working to the blue line. Now middle ice on the backhand. Handed it off final moment, but just couldn't quite convert. Now sending for Colorado over the line. His wrist or glove down. Askarov, he'll drop it swiftly to continue play. We're down to 5:18 left here in the third. 4-2 lead for Colorado. Chris Wagner deep in his own zone for Ahmet. Now Ivan scoops it up. He's into the offensive zone for Colorado. Swings it down low. Gushin far side reverses the puck. 4:55 left here in the third. Gushin got run into and kind of stretching out the right leg. After that contact, finishes his check on Tynan. McDonald shot blocked, and Colin White will carry it up the ice and poke it into the right corner. Stick broke on him, so he heads off to make a change. Now Ivan over the line for Colorado. And it's rolled in on Askarov this time. He holds on for the whistle. 4:25 left in the third. It's a 4-2 Colorado lead. Live from TXCU Arena, game one of a best-of-5 second round Calder Cup playoff series. We're back in a moment. This is Calder Cup playoff hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
Being there for live NHL games means more thrilling face-offs, more action, and more memories made for the whole family. And when you need tickets to catch the San Jose Sharks at the ice, Ticketmaster's got you covered. As the official ticket marketplace of the San Jose Sharks and the NHL, Ticketmaster gives you more ways to find your perfect seat with a wide selection of tickets available for every game. And if your plans change, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell or transfer your tickets. Plus, mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. Check out the full schedule of upcoming games and get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com.
4:25 left in the third. 4-2 lead for the Colorado Eagles. This crowd trying to get behind their team. Goal by Colin Graff gets the Barracuda back within 2.
They want to feed off the energy. Here it is for the San Jose Barracuda with the face-off in the Barracuda zone.
Shots at this point, 26-22 in favor of San Jose in this third. Barracuda out shooting the Eagles 7-5. Difference in this game, special teams. Colorado 2 for 3 on the power play. Also a goal during a delayed penalty. Barracuda 0 for 3, although they do have a shorthanded goal in this game.
Take a little extra time to get the ice cleaned up.
So the draw will be to the right side of goaltender Yaroslav Askarov. That Patrick Giles will take the draw against Jason Magna. And off the face-off, it's fired around the boards. And icing against San Jose here with 4:18 left in regulation.
Yeah, it's a set play. You will rim that around the boards, but the man on the wing has to be able to pick that up. That was coming pretty hot, though.
So the draw now to the left side of Askarov. Dako Stopchuk will now shift over and take the draw. Left-handed shot, so he'll take it on his strong side. Magna wins the face-off and pivots the puck into the corner. Phillips trying to slip away from Cagnoni, rims it up high to the point of shot, awaits its arrival. 18 in white, hurries it down the wall. He gets past Stevens on that right point and back to center. 4 minutes to go in the third. 4-2 lead for Colorado in game one of this best-of-5 series. Cagnoni now for the Cuda, long for Donovan Houle. Houle will carry the puck with speed through the neutral zone. And Beasted just not quite able to hold up offside against the Cuda here.
Extra move by Donovan Houle, and the timing just wasn't there.
So a neutral zone face-off draw. That shorthanded goal for Philip Beasted, just the third shorthanded goal in Barracuda playoff history, and the first since 2017 when Ryan Carpenter scored a shorthanded goal. Aside from that 2017 year, the Barracuda had never won a playoff series before beating Ontario. Well, that victory against the Reign, a big one, as the Cuda now in round two find themselves down 4-2 in game one. Late stages of the third, and far from over. Barracuda need the offense going here, though, in a hurry. They've added an assist to Lucas Carlson on the goal for Colin Graff, initially listed as unassisted. Gushin up the right wing side. Down to 3 minutes to go in the third. He's over the line, works it into the corner, took a bump from Ludwig. Poland colliding into White on the end wall. Puck poked free. Picked up by Bradley of Colorado, and Chase Bradley will skate the puck up and out of his own zone. Bradley weaving far right, pulls up in the corner, swings it in between the circles, right to Gushin of the Cuda, and the Barracuda will carry it back up the ice. Here comes Graff down the wing. Colin Graff holding, circles around the net, looking for a receiver, throws it to the blue paint. Good thought, and it clanks just wide. Then Jack Thompson, hog-tied down to the ice. Picked up now by Giles, handed off, shot, score! Colin White fires it home with 2:19 left here in the third.
A lot of stuff again in the corner, but the Barracuda get after the puck. Again, it's a forecheck that works. Johnson gets taken down. Good pinch by the third man. Giles is there, seals the boards, and it's just out to Colin White. The key on that play is just sealing the boards by Patrick Giles, and then the quick shot into the net it goes. And as you said, the Cougars still in this big time now with 2 minutes plus to go, down by one.
White led the Barracuda in round one with 3 assists. He's got his first Calder Cup playoff goal, and this is a game indeed with 2:05 left in regulation. There goes Yaroslav Askarov for the extra attacker. It's a 4-3 lead for the Eagles. Thrown on net there from distance. Gloved down by Minor. 1:57 left here in the third.
Not a bad play by Daniil Gushin just to throw the puck on the net. Colin White went after the official about something, but I do believe we'll be getting a timeout call here by John McCarthy. 1:57 left, pulled Yaroslav Askarov, and we do have the timeout.
So a timeout called by John McCarthy. In many ways, this comeback attempt fueled by a bad goal given up by Trent Miner from below the goal line. It goes off of him and in. Colin Graff swung it to the net. Miner has been outstanding in this game. In many ways, he's been the difference. But that allows for the Barracuda to inch that much closer, and Colin White now rips home a goal. And this time of year, Drew, you're looking for those veteran players who've been there and done that, and Colin White continues to step up here in these playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Terrific job by the Barracuda, as we talked about going in. You're never out of a game, but also relentless patience. Even though the third period to start off didn't go the Cuda's way, they stayed in the game. And now they're one more shot away from tying this up.
Brown feeling it. Face-off draw to the right side of Trent Miner. This place is rocking. The towels are swirling. And it's a 4-3 Colorado lead. Philip Beestead, who scored the Barracuda's first goal, is Shorty. Back in the second, will take the face-off draw. Right side of Trent Miner. Beestead wins it up high to the point for Cagnoni. Catch and release. He put it wide as it went off somebody en route. Now centered in front. Oh, what a chance there for Beestead. A pinball, airborne puck, and it just went over the net. The crowd began to crescendo there as that puck was airborne for what felt like an eternity. It's bounced back to center. Run down by Magna to the empty net. He scores. Jason Magna, the 35-year-old captain, has put Colorado back up by 2 with $1:31 left here in the third.
That's the game, right? That's playoff hockey right there. So close. Puck bouncing in front. Barracuda have a good chance. Puck, as you said, pinballs up. And then the hustle of the puck by Magna gets it down on the ice and into the empty net. Still 1:31 left, so I'm not giving up hope yet, Nick.
Magna's second of the game, his 18th of his Calder Cup playoff career. Comes at 18:29, and for the Barracuda, they've shown they can score quickly. We'll see if they can do it again. They once again need 2 goals to tie. There goes Askarov. He'll leave the net. Extra attacker. Desperation mode now. The puck is up and out of play, so it'll come.
It's off of.
Will stay in the zone and went off Eagle.
I think Ivan, it went off of Jack Thompson. Signaled that right away. Referee agreed.
So that'll keep Askarov put on the Barracuda bench. 1:20 left here in regulation. Barracuda scoring 2 unanswered to make things very interesting. Magna has now answered back with an empty netter. Second of the game, face-off draw to the left side of goaltender Trent Miner. 1:20 left here in the third. Patrick Giles will take the draw against Magna. Net empty to our left. Off the face-off, kicked free. Eagles trying to run to it. It's veered back to center by Tynan, and Jack Thompson will scoop up the biscuit back at his own end. Thompson hits the red line, wrists one off the back glass. Donovan Houle trying to run it down far side. Magna shimmies it up the wall. Held in by Giles. Backhander lifted near side. Settled down Cardwell. Tried to feed Donovan Houle, but a good late stick by the Eagles. It's back to center. Winded in deep by Carlson. Under a minute to go in regulation. Barracuda trail 5-3 here in game 1. Magna up the wall, and it bounces back to center. Time a critical factor now at this point. Houle back over the line for the Cuda. He'll fish hook it around the wall, but Ivan off the yellow lifts it free. Felleber trying to get around Giles. He will score. It probably would have counted anyway. And the Colorado Eagles push their lead to 3. An empty net goal for Ty Felleber with 29.1 seconds left here in the third.
Well, it got exciting there for a while. The Barracuda showed you something, but also the Colorado Eagles should have shown the Barracuda that you've got to be darn near perfect when you're playing them.
And it feels like you got to take advantage of your chances because they're few and far between. A couple of early saves by Miner. Colorado scores late in the first. They scored 3 times in the second. Barracuda Barracuda got back within one, but a couple of empty netters have all but iced this game. Poland will play it down and deep. Colorado's going to take a 1-0 series lead in this best of 5. Maybe some frustration starting to boil over for the Barracuda late in this game. Lots of hacking and whacking. Askarov thought about giving Phillips some lumber as well. Horn will sound, and that does it for game number 1. The Colorado Eagles behind 25 stops from Trent Miner take game number 1 in this best of 5 series as the Eagles with the celebratory head bumps on their goaltender and Miner in his Calder Cup playoff debut. He was as solid as you could ask for. And the Colorado Eagles, the number 1 team during the regular season in the Pacific Division, put that on full display here in game number 1. They take a 1-0 series lead.
But I look at this, Nick, and from the CUDA point of view, first off, let's talk about the Colorado Eagles. They played a very, very good game. And what's impressive about the Eagles is how much they hustle, how their forwards get on pucks, how they pressure. But from the CUDA point of view, looking back at this game, if you take a couple of steps back, you look at it and think to yourself, okay, they can play with this team. They can, but they've got to play as hard-nosed, forecheck, hard, down low, that type of game. The open ice stuff in the neutral zone, you're just going to have to be simple, direct, into the zone, and then get to work. But for the CUDA, I think they can be looking at a silver lining here, and you have to, because it's the playoffs. That game's over with, but there are some things that they can be positive on, but also you talked about it. Opportunistic, you've got to be more opportunistic, and number 2, those special teams have got to get back. Get back to being as good as they were in the regular season.
Without a doubt, Colorado pots a couple of power play goals. They do give up a shorthanded goal, but that was really the difference in the hockey game. Barracuda outshot Colorado 12-6 in the first, but they found themselves behind, and this Eagles team, there is a reason why they finished atop the Pacific Division. They are a hard nut to crack, if you will. Hard to penetrate their defensive zone. They protect the net extremely well, and they are very opportunistic offensively, and they did it again here tonight en route to a 6-3 win. Barracuda Bonus, our postgame show coming up next. This is Barracuda Calder Cup Playoff Hockey on the Sharks Audio Network.
You have a new home for country music in the Bay Area.
Bay Country 94.5 and 92.1 in the East Bay.
I'ma need some whiskey glasses, drinking beer almost as cold as ice don't fall in a boat.
And Bobby Bones in the morning.
Hello to the Bay Area. I'm Bobby Bones. Make sure you wake up with us on Bay Country.
This is your invite to join us right now. The Bay Area is making a move to the all-new Bay Country 94.5 and 92.1 in the East Bay. Listen online from anywhere.
kbaycountry.com.
10 years of Barracuda hockey.
10 years of Barracuda hockey.
Milko Madulin, he scores!
I remember that call with Nick Nolenberger.
I've seen and heard all 10 years of CUDA hockey.
The Sharks know that the key to victory is inspiration, looking for openings, creating opportunities, leaving it all on the ice. This is the type of inspired play that leads to the Stanley Cup. At Western Digital, we believe you should be empowered and inspired by the data that surrounds you. Our powerful flash and HDD storage solutions fuel new possibilities for everyone from students, gamers, and home offices to some of the largest enterprises and public clouds. Western Digital, a proud official partner of your San Jose Sharks.
The hat trick for William Eklund.
NHL fans, give yourself some great looks this season and get Sharks tickets at Ticketmaster.
Oh, what a save by Blackwood.
As the official marketplace of the Sharks and the NHL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game so you can catch all the action live.
Vlasic shoots and he scores.
If your plans change, you can sell or transfer your tickets, and mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. With Ticketmaster, you'll ensure that when they shoot, you'll score. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/NHL.
A podiatrist will tell you about your feet. An orthopedist will tell you about your bones. A physical therapist will analyze your gait. A psychologist will help you manage your anxiety. But what if they're all connected? What if your walk affects your hip alignment and the loss of movement affects your mental health? At Kaiser Permanente, we know the body is connected in unseen ways. That's why our doctors work together to care for all that is you. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is you. Learn more at kp.org.
stand by for Barracuda Bonus, a deep dive into tonight's game.
Welcome back inside TechCU Arena. Final in Game 1, the Colorado Eagles jump out to a 1-0 series lead with a 6-3 victory here tonight. Final shots 28-24 in favor of the home team Barracuda. In fact, San Jose outshot Colorado 12-6 in the first period, yet it was the Eagles jumping out to a 1-0 lead. Eagles pot 3 goals in the second, 2 on the power play, and man, they gave the Barracuda a lot of fits in that third period when San Jose needed offense. Now, they made it close with a couple of goals, kind of a fluky one and then a great goal from Colin White. But before that, Colorado, hard to get anything going, in particular in the neutral zone.
Yeah, so as we talked about, like the Ontario Reign, they back up in the neutral zone. But unlike the Ontario Reign, their first man really pressures, and then when the puck gets in the neutral zone, they pressure. They're not backing up all the time. They really are a terrific team at pressuring, not only in the neutral zone, but the offensive zone as well. Their forwards, undersized as they are, hustle. They get their feet moving. They are the definition of competing for pucks. So what you have to do in those situations, like in the first period for the CUDA, they did a very good job of supporting the puck in the zone, having quick puck movement and quick support to get the play moving the other way. And they did a very good job of that, but the Colorado Eagles kept things going. Where this game changed, as we talked about, was the 3-1 score, and the CUDA got the power play opportunity and did nothing with it. In fact, it sucked the momentum from them, and it gave some juice to the Eagles. They scored after that, but again, let's go back. This game should, when you look back, you'll be disappointed right now, and as you should be. It's a playoff game. You lost. But when the video gets shown tomorrow, I'm sure a lot of it will be, hey, this is where we did some really good things, and this is where we can play with them. If that would be my message as a coach anyway.
Without a doubt. In that first period, they went nose to nose with them. They were right in the hockey game in many respects. They outplayed Colorado. They had an early jump. It was physical in the first period. Tempo was great, but Colorado gets that first goal, that critical first goal. They were so good during the regular season, over an .800 winning percentage when they scored first. So we knew that first one would be important, and it would come at 16-16 to period number 1. Calle Rosen, the trailing defenseman, found some quiet ice right in between the circles, puck on a stick, and he rips one past Yaroslav Askarov, blocker side, to get things started. Now Matt Phillips, like a jitterbug, leads for Magna. High slot, shot, score! Calle Rosen, the trailing defenseman, beats Yaroslav Askarov between the circles and opens up the scoring with 3:44 left here in period number 1. Calle Rosen on the board from Jason Magna and Matt Phillips at 16-16. And despite all the goodwill earned by the Barracuda, they find themselves down 1-0 after 1.
And that was a mistake that Colorado took advantage of. It was a slow change, not a great change as far as timing goes, and it was slow as far as energy goes, and that's why Rosen was wide open in the high slot.
So the Colorado Eagles would take a 1-0 lead going into the intermission. At 3:02 of period number 2 on the power play, Chris Wagner, who was all over the ice tonight, doing what he does best, throwing the body, being an agitator, playing that hard-nosed style, would get credited with the deflection that trickled through goaltender Yaroslav Askarov, his first of the playoffs, at 3:02 from Jacob McDonald. And Sean, the defenseman, Jack Sean, time of that second goal for Colorado, again, 3:02 of period number 2 on the power play. Eagles up 2-0. Sean to steal, now for Tynan. Tynan gives off for a Sean, looking for him. Big post, it just troubled its way through. Chris Wagner able to tip it past goaltender Askarov. It's a power play goal for Colorado, and they've got a 2-0 lead. So Colorado takes a 2-0 lead, Drew, on a power play. We're not here to jump on the refs, but there were some no calls without a doubt that didn't go in the favor of the Barracuda. You've got to play through that. But calling it to Luca Cagnoni, that was borderline, to say the least. It leads to a power play in Colorado capitalized.
Well, especially because they ignored a trip on Ethan Frisch. Took the legs out from underneath him from behind. It should have been called. Power play should have been going the other way. I know we're not supposed to get any less. I know it's the loser's lament, but you do look at situations that are called and not called and go, what if?
What if, indeed, and unfortunately that was a second goal for Colorado. They had a 2-0 lead. They weren't done because Donovan Houle would then get popped for a double minor high stick. jousting in front with Callie Rosen. Crosscheck would ride a little bit high, unintentional, but the damage was done. He goes to the box, and within the first 2 minutes of that double minor 4-minute power play, Colorado would extend its lead. The captain, Jason Megna, his first of the series at 7:19. His shot, Askarov got tied up. He's upended, and they score. Yaroslav Askarov got run into. He was spilled to the deck. I think he's calling for a high touch or just the contact. And they're going to have a conversation here. The referee shaking his head as if it's going to stand. We saw the replay, drew a little bit of contact, but not enough to wave the goal off.
No, not at all. I think you brought it up during the game that Yaroslav Askarov tried to sell it. And that's a gamble as a goaltender that you're trying to sell some interference and they score on the goal. It wasn't a terrific play by Yaroslav Askarov. Yes, there was pressure there, but if he stays on his feet and just handles the stop in the puck, it probably would have been a different story.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to be in the conversation with goaltending coach Evgeny Nabokov. You wonder if you'd want him to fight through that. You understand the contact trying to draw it, but it's 50-50 on whether you get the call. More likely than not, you're not going to. So you might as well try to fight through it and keep your footing. So that goal, a huge goal. Barracuda in dire straits at that point, down 3-0 in the second period on home ice, and they would get a little sliver of hope on that same penalty kill. Great play from Philip Beestead. Poked it around the defenseman Wyatt Ahmet, off to the races on a breakaway, and he would finally beat Trent Miner to get the Barracuda on the board. A shorthanded goal at 8:25, unassisted from the rookie forward Beestead. Miner has made a couple of outstanding saves. Here's a chance now, though, for Beestead, shorthanded. He's on a breakaway. Beestead moving in. He scores! It's just what the doctor ordered. A shorthanded goal for Philip Beestead. And the Barracuda are right back in this game. Huge goal from Philip Beestead. The Barracuda were hovering on that teetering point of the hockey game where things were going to really get out of their reach, but Beestead comes up large with a shorthanded goal.
Yeah, huge goal. And you mentioned the scouting report. Quick shot on the ice, beats Miner, and it gave the Cuda some life.
Barracuda with life at that point. Unfortunately, Colorado once again. They would draw another penalty in that second period. They didn't wait, though, till the power play to score. Instead, with the extra attacker on, John Ludwig, the veteran defender, would find a way to squeak one through at 17:55. Colorado back up by 3. Great circle working in, shoots, somehow it made it through. They score. Ludwig siphons a shot through tons of traffic. It beats Askarov, blocker side, and the Colorado Eagles push their lead back to 3. We talked about special teams being really impactful in this game. Didn't it feel like Colorado won the battle in front of their own net and in front of San Jose's, and that goal a perfect example of it?
Yeah, 100%. And the Cuda had a power play just before that. It was 3-1 game. And if we talked about that being a chance for an opportunity for the Cuda, they didn't get things going. They were very reluctant to drive the puck towards the net. The Colorado Avalanche seemed to gain some momentum. The Eagles seemed to gain some momentum out of that, and then they carried through to drawing a penalty and then having that extra attacker goal.
That was a big goal because in the third, despite the Barracuda really not having much working in the third period, they would find a way to get some life off an unlikely location in which the puck was put on net. Below the goal line, right corner. Smart play by Colin Graff. Just slings it on net. It actually goes off of Miner. Would not have went in had it not went off the goaltender. And it bounces its way through. Barracuda on the board. Back within 2. Graff second of the playoffs at 13-16 from Lucas Carlson to all of a sudden reawake what was a very good crowd here at TechCU Arena. Duff free by Colorado. Barracuda working for it. Back thrown to the net. They score! Well, you've been saying it all night, Drew. Just put pucks on net. That was a wicked angle. I don't think the intention was to score from Graff, but it ends up bouncing its way through on Trent Miner, who's been so good tonight. But it gets past him, and the Barracuda have some life with 6:44 left here in the third. Guess there's no such thing as a bad shot.
Nope.
Below the goal line, Graff banks it in.
Good work by the Cuda down low. Good work along the boards. They won 50-50 pucks, and Graff just fired at the net, as you said, probably hoping for a rebound to pop out front. And never mind, put it in.
So all of a sudden, the Barracuda with some life, down by 2. Time of that goal at 13:16. Then at 17:41, Colin White would rip home a feed from Patrick Giles, his first of the postseason. Led the way in the opening round with 3 assists, but he beat goaltender Miner to all of a sudden get the Barracuda within a goal. Then Jack Thompson hog-tied down to the ice. Picked up now by Giles. Handed off. Shot. Score! Colin White fires it home with 2:19 left here in the third. And we had a game at that point.
Yeah, we absolutely did. Terrific job again on the forecheck. Giles seals the boards. White releases to the middle. Good pass, good shot, and all of a sudden, man, it's 4-3. Could the Cuda make the comeback?
2 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in regulation. So right after that goal, Yaroslav Askarov would scamper over to the bench. Barracuda down by a score of 4-3. But Jason Megna, who had already scored in the game, would get beyond the defense and fire one in from the neutral zone. That would make it a 5-3 score. His second of the game, empty netter at 18:29 from Wyatt Ahmet. And then Colorado would really seal the game with 30 ticks left. Ty Felleber, an empty netter from Ivan. Colorado takes game number 1.
Got to credit Colorado. Came in with a very good game. They played hard. They played fast. They did not have any rust from the 2 weeks off. Trent Miner was terrific. And they carried that game, especially in that second period. They restarted to take over with their hustle. But, again, I'll reiterate the fact that the Barracuda could look at that game and go over the video and go, you know what? If not for this, this, and this, they could have been in this game. But, overall, they'll look at it and go, they can play with this team. They can play with the Eagles. They just need to tidy up a few things, polish up a few things.
Barracuda will have another crack at Colorado on home ice on Sunday. We will be on the air at 5:30 with pregame coverage on the Sharks Audio Network. You can watch live on AHL TV on FloHockey. You knew this was going to be a dogfight of a series. Eagles land the first punch. They take a 1-0 series lead with a 6-3 victory here in game number 1. Again, game 2 set for Sunday at TechCU Arena, and then we shift to Loveland, Colorado. Final shots tonight, 28-24 in favor of the Barracuda. Colorado goes 2 for 3 on the power play. They do give up a shorthanded goal. Barracuda go 0 for 3 on the advantage. Winning goaltender Trent Miner in his Calder Cup playoff debut. Losing goaltender Yaroslav Askarov, his first blemish of these playoffs, allows 4 goals on 22 shots. Let's go over our 3 stars. Former Shark and Barracuda defender Jacob McDonald, the Eddie Shore winner, is the top D-man in the league, is the number 3 star. 2 assists for McDonald, a +1 rating, and 1 shot on net. Number 2 star, another defenseman, Callie Rosen. He opened up the scoring, did Rosen, back in the opening period. Had a 1-1 tonight, a +2 rating, 2 shots on net, the number 2 star. And the number 1 star, the wily veteran, Jason Megna, 2 goals. One of those goals being an empty netter to all but seal the victory. Also had an assist, finished with 3 points, a +1 rating, 4 shots on net. Ty Felleber also had 3 points, so we'll give him an honorable mention. Well. He did play well. Those guys that you expect to play that heavier style, despite not being the biggest of guys. They've got a lot of honey badgers on that side.
Yes, they do.
And they put it on full display. Barracuda looking to bounce back on Sunday. What a crowd tonight. Unfortunately, the fans go home a little bit disappointed, but the Barracuda will have another chance on Sunday. And once again, we are expecting a great crowd here at TechCU Arena. Game length tonight, 2 hours, 34 minutes, 4,200 strong. Watch this game here tonight. Again, an outstanding atmosphere.
Yep.
Should be a lot of fun on Sunday for game 2.
Certainly will. Hopefully the roles reverse where the Cuda are able to tie this series up, but the fans were great support, great energy. And the Cuda's got to have to bounce back, just like in the playoffs. You know, they're not going to win every game. They got to be able to bounce back as best you can. And I'm looking forward to a Sunday performance.
Partner, appreciate
Thanks,
you
buddy.
joining me as always. Great call in the game with you.
Tough
one tonight for the Barracuda. Again, the effort was there. They're going to have to make some adjustments going into game number 2 on Sunday. For the great Drew Amenda, I'm Nick Nolenberger, reminding you again of tonight's final score. The Barracuda fall in game 1 of his best-of-5 round number 2 series against first-place Colorado by a final score of 6-3. We're back on the air on Sunday with pregame coverage starting at 5:30 on the Sharks Audio Network. And, of course, you can watch the game on AHL TV on FloHockey. Until Sunday, I'm Nick Nolenberger saying so long and good night from TechCU Arena in San Jose.
This broadcast has been a presentation of the San Jose Barracuda, proud AHL affiliate of the San Jose Sharks.